Check, check. Steve's going to the restroom, and we also have, waiting on Mr. Kaiser to get here. We'll wait just a few minutes, and we'll get started.
Thank you. What do you do to friends? Throw 'em out.
Ready to go? All right. We want to thank everybody for coming this evening to our board meeting. I'm sorry, but I guess we'll do the call to order and roll call.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Welcome to the Russell County Board of Supervisors, October the 6th, 2025 at 6 p.m. I would like to first start off with a call of order and roll call. Andrew Hensley. Here. Luann Wallace.
Here.
Tara Dye.
Here.
Steve Breeding.
Here.
Rebecca Dye.
Here.
Nate Kaiser.
Here.
David Eaton.
Here.
Sir, you have a quorum.
All right. Thank you, Lonzo. Before we go in, before Caleb gives the invocation, I would want to, I've got a couple things I need to point out. I had sent out a thing to the board for consideration, not to fund, but to look into establishing some, our youth doing some, to establish a turning point in memory of Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Charlie Kirk had founded this organization 2012, And he made a huge impact on a lot of college campuses, high schools, and other things. To do what Charlie done and to be assassinated is just unbelievable. I can't believe it. A person's life would have to be give up for free speech. So with this, some of the young people in our county have took this challenge upon themselves to, and have presented it to the school board, Adam Hess and some others, and they've got some people supporting them to establish a chapter here within the county to keep the momentum going. I'm sure it's been a huge situation for that family, and we all want to keep them in our prayers. His wife and 2 children, precious children, now that have to go through life without a father. But also we've had opportunities to speak to some of the Christian Coalition leadership at the colleges, and they have showed a huge interest in also this opportunity. So I wanted to clarify that. I got kind of pounded pretty hard on social media because I had put it out there that I was going to ask the board to take this into consideration, just to ask some of the youth in their districts and some of the people to take this on and move this project forward. So I do appreciate the youth for standing up. We do live in a society that it's a horrible situation that people that want to have free speech are putting themselves at jeopardy to be assassinated for this. And that's just, to me, it's really bothered me since this happened. It's bothered my family. We raise kids. I've got 3 grandsons and 1 new grandson now. So it's really disturbing to me what these kids are going to have to deal with in the future. So with that said, I'd like for Caleb to give the invocation, and then we'll do the pledge. Everybody would stand.
Let us pray. Father God, Lord, we love you. We thank you. We praise you today, Father. Father, we thank you for all the many blessings you've given us, and we thank you for allowing us to come together and be a part of our local government, Father. Father, lead, guide, and direct us in everything that we do. And Lord, bless this nation, Father. We're a broken nation right now, but we know if we turn to you that we can be restored. Lord, we love you and we thank you, for it's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. And now I'll move on to the approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I have several additions that we need to make to the agenda. I think the first one would be under appointments under the IDA. We've had several advisors listed there, and I think all of them have either moved away or retired or whatever. So we've got opening for advisors there. And there's one fella that we need to put on as an advisor. He was on the IDA before as Mike Hincher, and I want to just make sure that we can cover that under this appointment here.
Well,
It'd be a
Steve,
non-voting position, yeah.
okay, with that, can I also put a person on there, on the IDA, Tyler, as an advisor?
In an advisory role, yes.
Okay. All right.
Well, okay, I'll just put advisor, and then we can just all discuss it then.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, under the attorney's reports, item number 5, we need to do Given School. It's an economic development project. We need to discuss that. Given School Economic Development. Givens, yeah. And item number 6, we need to discuss machinery and tools tax for data centers. We need to put that in there. That'll be under the item number 6 under the county attorney's report. Item number 9 under requests under the county administrator would be Cumberland Plateau Planning District Commission Regional Hazardous Materials Plan Update. And you'll need a resolution on that, I think. And then item number 10 is a Veterans Day project called Green Light that I'd like to bring to everybody's attention. And I think that's it. That's all I have. So I'll make a motion
Yes.
that we approve the agenda with these
Yeah,
additions.
it's Operation Green Light.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll give you a second.
Okay, we have a second. Any discussion? All in favor? And now listen, if we could, I want to start doing this. One, in all respect to the lady back here that's taking the minutes, we'll do a roll call vote from now on. I'll start out with Nate.
Yes.
Okay, District 1?
Yes.
Okay, District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
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 And yes. Okay. Moving on, we have start our public hearing here. We have New Leaf Energy, River Mountain Solar LLC, projects 1 and 2. If you guys and gals would want to come to the podium, state your name, and we'll listen to your presentation.
Perfect. Thank you very much for y'all's time. Today, my name's Jesse Robinson. I'm a senior project developer with New Leaf Energy. And we do have a PowerPoint. Perfect. All right, next slide, please. All right, so first of all, I just wanted to, y'all may be familiar with this already, but just quickly distinguish what small-scale solar versus utility-scale solar looks like. So you can see the picture on the top left-hand side. That is a distribution line. We are proposing 2 projects to the county, working with Mr. Hillman. These projects are 5 megawatts off of River Mountain Road. Those would qualify as small-scale solar projects. So we connect to the distribution lines that run along roads that you typically see around town and connect to an existing substation in the community. They're typically 5 megawatts or less projects. And then compared to utility scale, those connect to the large transmission lines that run long distances. That looks like the picture on the bottom left. They tend to be larger projects over 5 megawatts. Sometimes they need their own substation for their project, which is not the projects we're proposing. All right, next slide, please. And there are different types of different types of solar projects that can exist in Virginia. Like rooftop solar is one, utility scale solar is another. What we're proposing would be community solar. So this is a newer program in Appalachian Power territory. It passed in April of last year, and the program opened officially this summer for people to apply for capacity. Essentially, it allows folks who don't necessarily have access to solar in another way, like maybe they live in an apartment and they can't have rooftop solar, or they don't have enough land to have solar themselves. It's a way for them to still see benefits from solar by subscribing to a project and then receiving a savings on their Appalachian Power bill. So these 2 projects are participating in that program. Next slide, please. And you can see the picture on the right-hand side. These 2 projects have already received capacity in the program. It's a limited 50 megawatt program, and these projects have capacity. So in order to be able to move forward, we need the siting agreement from y'all approved, and then we can get going. We're already in progress with the site plan with the county. So we're well on our way to being able to construct if it's at the will of the board. How it works essentially is that each project will have a certain set of subscribers based on the output of the project. These are both 5 megawatt projects, so each project is around 1,000 subscribers. So around 2,000 folks can subscribe to these 2 projects if it were to move forward. And we added an item in our siting agreement that we would first look to people in Russell County for that opportunity before going elsewhere so that this can benefit people locally. There's no cost to subscribe. We would probably send mailers, post in the newspaper to notify people when it's time to subscribe, which would be closer to when the project would be in construction. And the main requirement is you have to have an Appalachian Power bill. And I understand that bills have been pretty high recently with Appalachian Power in this area, so I think savings could be quite beneficial to folks. And I tried to give an idea of just what savings could look like. So if you have a power bill about $150 per month, then you would see savings of about $20 per month or $260 per year. And these projects could go 20 years up to 40 years, so that really adds up over time. Or if your bill is more like $300 per month, which I understand is more closely to what bills look like around here, that's about $50 per month savings or $600 per year. So some significant savings. And I don't have a slide specifically on the other benefits to the county, but I just wanted to take a moment to mention that as well. We have the siting agreement that we're working on with y'all, which would be $20,000 per megawatt is what we're offering to the county. In addition to that, we have a certain amount of dollars, about $50,000 for the county to use towards site plan costs or inspections of the site. And we've said anything remaining per project, y'all can keep that too. And on top of that as well, these projects will provide additional tax revenue to the county, and there are two ways that can be calculated in the county, and then that's up to the county, whether it's by M&T or revenue share. But we've also added an item in the siting agreement that whichever is higher that year, the county can elect to use that method. So really trying to maximize the amount we can offer y'all in terms of benefits. Also, we like to provide community-specific donations. This is something we tend to do, and we're happy to formalize that in the siting agreement as well, such as a donation to the Belfast Rosedale Volunteer Fire Department. About $5,000 per project is what we're thinking about proposing to y'all. So these are all some benefits that would come to the county with this project. Next slide, please. Just to answer some questions for the community that we often receive, what comprises a solar panel? So you can see the picture on the left-hand side tries to break that down to show you the components. Aluminum frame holds everything together, followed by tempered glass. This is glass that can withstand hail and extreme wind. And then there's an encapsulant, and in the very middle are the solar cells, which are typically silicon, and other components are boron, phosphorus, silver, and those are in smaller quantities. But typically that's what comprises a panel. And the Environmental Protection Agency sets requirements on what chemicals can go in the panels to ensure safety, and that is an item in the siting agreement. There's a toxicity leaching procedure that a lot of panels have to pass to make sure they don't leach into the ground, and we are required to select panels that meet those requirements as well per the siting agreement. Next slide. And so, do solar panels leach? We get this question a lot. Like I said, there are standards set by the EPA as well as manufacturer standards like Tier 1 panels. These are panels that have a warranty of 25 years. They can withstand extreme wind and hail. They're tested for this. And they're built with tempered glass. So we would select these panels for this project. And often, I think people view a panel, if for some reason it's somehow damaged, that liquid would leach out into the ground. Instead, it actually breaks off like a solid, like a chunk. So it's easier for cleanup. And these projects are monitored remotely 24/7. to check the production and things like that. So if a panel is damaged, we notice that production falls, we can send someone out. We often have like a local technician on contract, and we'll send them out to check on the site and clean up anything that's damaged and replace a panel. Next slide. So the projects are located off of River Mountain. You can see them here outlined in blue, kind of a more zoomed out aerial photo. You can see Lebanon in the bottom left-hand side of the picture. So these projects are to the northeast of Lebanon. And then a more zoomed in picture is on the right-hand side of the slide. Next slide, please. We chose these sites for several reasons. One being the projects, the panels themselves are located far from the road, at least over 1,000 feet from the road. Also with the topography of the site, it slopes to the south. So picture's oriented north. So the panels are facing away from the road. They will not be visible from the road or the surrounding homes off of River Mountain Road, and that was intentional to minimize visibility. We also have done a lot of studies on this site. We've looked at endangered species, threatened species, we've looked at wetlands, and we are not impacting threatened or endangered species, and minimal to no impact of wetlands. I believe we need a culvert, or we're crossing a culvert with an access road, and that's the only impact in terms of wetlands. And then, as I mentioned before, with this being a community solar project, we need the distribution lines to interconnect to for this project, and that is existing at this site off of River Mountain Road. So we would be interconnecting there, and the power goes directly into the grid and goes to a local substation. So folks along that circuit could feasibly be pulling energy from that line, or other people locally as it's going to the nearby substation. Also, the landowner, he wants to do this. He believes this is the best use of his property. Does not take up the entirety of his land. He will keep his cattle operations going on the remainder of the site. This really helps supplement income and allows him to maintain ownership of these parcels. So I was told to keep this closer to 5 minutes. I do have more slides, but I can stop here.
I mean, you're more than welcome to continue,
Okay,
because, I mean, the board needs to understand.
okay, cool. We just have a few more then, mostly showing the layouts of these projects. So there's two projects for discussion tonight. River Mountain Solar 1 LLC is one of them. This, you can see the project here. It's the one further located from River Mountain Road. It's outlined in orange, and then there's a closer zoomed in picture on the right-hand side. So it's 5 megawatts, as is the other project. It's fixed tilt racking. So there's single axis tracker, which will track the sun over time during the day. This is fixed tilt. It stays at one angle and doesn't change. Really, that's because of the slope out here. You need flatter land to have single axis tracker. So these are fixed tilt. It's about 24 acres fenced, which is about 7.5 acres of land that's actually underneath the panel, because we have inner row spacing as well to help with groundwater and minimize shading of the panels. So while it's 24 acres fenced, it's not actually 24 acres full of panels, if that makes sense. And then about 18 acres for the access road and for stormwater features, which are regulated by the state and the county, and we're actually working on that right now with our site plan process. Next slide, please. And this just illustrates the topography of the site and how we're using it to our advantage. So you can see it gets quite steep up there towards the middle of that picture. And where I have the green arrows, that's where the panels are located. So you can see it's on the south facing side of the slope, going away from the road. Next slide. And here's the layout for River Mountain Solar 2. Also fixed tilt racking, 24 acres fenced. About 7.2 of that is actually underneath the panels. and about 19 acres of that is for access and stormwater. Next slide. Again, just showing the topography. Where you see the green arrows are where our panels are located to minimize visibility. Next slide. And we had our community outreach meeting back in January. We notified directly adjacent and then beyond neighbors, so it was about 33 people in the area. 9 folks attended the community meeting, and it was a good discussion. I believe Supervisor Dye was there as well. So I think that's our last slide. But I do have Bill Lane with Hurt and Profit, who's been supporting us on the site plan, if there's questions there. And then Scott Foster with Gentry Lock is here, who's been working with us on the siting agreement. Happy to answer questions there as well. If the board is willing, it would be great to have a vote on that tonight, if possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Does any of the board have any questions?
I just have one question regarding you said the fire departments.
Yeah.
You mentioned one fire department. Is that going to be are you going to give them all? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're open to that. So how would that work? Would it just be divided amongst all of them?
I don't know. I guess it depends on what you're proposing to give.
Yeah.
But yeah, we like to try to keep it as fair as possible.
Sure.
Because they're all, volunteer and they all fundraise and
Okay.
and whatnot.
How many fire departments are there?
Right off the top. Is it 8?
8. Okay.
8.
Scott, what do you think on?
There's really 7, one of them's a satellite.
Got you. Good evening, Scott Foster. Structured this several different ways. Number one is a pass-through to the locality. So we pay the county at the time assigned to the siting agreement, then you all make that allocation as part of your annual budget process.
Restricted.
Yeah. And then, in Jess's experience as a developer as well, sometimes they make these payments outside of this document in the community that would essentially in the area where the applicable VFD would be responding. So, but what you all are telling us is you'd like funds applied across the county instead of in this specific area. Just to make clear,
I want both.
you want both. Understood. Let's give us a little bit of time to talk about this and let the public comment run, and then we'll give you an update. Just let us put our heads together, if you don't mind.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good question.
Yeah, and if you have any siting agreement related questions, that's on me.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll open this up. Any comments from the public?
David, I had a question for them.
Oh, I'm
real
sorry,
quick.
go ahead.
What is the end of life look like as far as cleanup, disposal, reinstitution? What's that look like?
Yep. So I believe this is a section of the siting agreement. We will have a decommissioning bond posted with the county, and that would cover the costs to remove the panels at end of life, really as a safeguard. It's the developer's responsibility to remove and dispose of the project at the end of its life. But the bond is in place really just to protect the county. If there's anything that should happen to the developer, you have sufficient funds to dispose of the project properly. And that has to be posted with the county before we can even start construction.
Is that a fixed amount for the whole time, or is it adjusted with inflation?
Changes on the county. Yes, it does.
Okay.
And will there be a report once a year? I mean, with this bond, you'll take it out and then all of a sudden, you no longer, it's basically like an insurance policy for the folks that want to know that. That's what a bond is. It's an insurance policy to protect either party. So what if all of a sudden you decide not to pay it? Who will be responsible?
Yeah.
So the way these work, the decommissioning surety has to be in a form satisfactory to the county attorney. And the way these sureties work is, in the event New Leaf or the long-term owner misses a payment or doesn't make a payment. It triggers a notice provision to the county that says, hey, they're late, we're going to pull it on X date. Or your bond is no good on X date, and then the county can step in and draw on those funds. So we build in that trigger so that there is no go away and the money goes away. There's a go away, the county has time to cure and step in, pull the money for
Liquidate the bond.
decom before the bond would evaporate. So and then again, once this agreement is approved, that final decommissioning agreement has to pass the county's satisfaction.
And then you said there's no cost to subscribers, so just whoever the first 2,000 people will show up and sign up are, they don't have to pay anything at all to get this discount, basically.
Right, yeah. So with a solar project, it's different from utilities where a lot of the costs related to like building a fossil fuel plant or something, legacy costs, have to be spread across their ratepayer base. Solar projects don't have those legacy expenses that need to be padded across folks. We just have this one project. So we have the ability to basically pay for that benefit. So it's kind of like the developer's cost. It's at the developer's cost / working with APCO through this program to give this benefit.
So it's 1,000 subscribers per 5 megawatts,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So 2,000 total, first come, first serve, basically.
Right, yep, first come, first serve, and then, I mean, there are more projects that participate in the program, so if there are people in Russell County who missed the opportunity and are interested, we could work with them to subscribe, help them find a different project to subscribe to.
How many households we have?
11,300 plus. give or
So what happens if you don't get your 1,000 subscribers?
We don't believe that to be an issue. The program was set to 50 megawatts, so it's a capped program set to meet the demand of folks in the community, and it could be expanded in the future too. So it's not an infinite number. That helps make sense. 50 megawatts is pretty small, I would say. The shared solar program in Dominion is 200, it was just expanded actually, it could be up to 350 megawatts. Yeah, it was expanded because of the demand in Dominion territory. So 50 doesn't feel not achievable for subscribers.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, go right ahead.
So the Appalachian Power Company subscribers can be anywhere in our county,
Yes.
correct? All right. Thank you. That's all I
And
need.
they're given first priority on this
Yep, we
before it
put that.
opens to anyone else, correct?
We put that in the siding agreement, yes.
How is that reduction in cost, that savings, how's that? Is it based on a percentage of the bill, or how do you calculate that cost?
Do you want to answer this? Do you want me? Okay. What's that? Yeah. We could go back to the shared solar slide. Yeah. Oh, you passed it. Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. We're going to the money or the,
Shared solar. Shared solar. Yep.
I was going to the money.
Still not that one.
Not this one. Yeah, that one.
There we go.
Yes.
That's why I said the money.
Or 50 if it's a.
50 is a lot.
So it's based on a percentage?
Yeah, 20%.
So 20% of the remaining bill
After $40 minimum.
accounting for the $40 minimum.
Mm-hmm.
How long is the life of the project?
So our leases are for 20 years with then options, 5-year options to extend up to 40 total.
And if you can go back and explain one more time the upfront cost and then the yearly cost that you'll be paying to the county.
Oh, okay. So 20,000 per megawatt. So that's 100,000 per project up front. So 200,000 total. And then per project, 50,000 is allotted to the county to use for site plan costs. Anything they don't use, they can keep
Yep.
beyond that.
So that'd be 300 up front.
Yes,
Key count, Andrew.
give or take, three,
Yes.
with the site plan costs, 300,000. And then there's additional taxes to the county for just the solar projects themselves. There's real estate tax and personal property tax. The Commissioner of Revenue reached out. He didn't want to give numbers yet without the projects being approved, but I put together estimates based on what we've seen in other counties, and that's about 500,000 per project as well over the lifetime.
And what do you consider a lifetime?
40 years.
40 years.
Yes.
Are these things viable for 40 years, though?
They have a guaranteed warranty for 25, but the life extends, like with like your car has a warranty, like 5-year warranty, but you keep using it. So it's guaranteed 25 years. Usually at the end of like 40 years, a panel has like 88% efficiency.
Are there any solar panels out there that are 40 years old?
In Europe, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also explained to them about, and I apologize for getting in, when both Tyler and I negotiated this, it was at full capacity of everything that we could think of between, the upfront cost, the legal accounting cost. It's a little different. We've had quite a few discussions. The upfront cost to be able to do this, the community donations, but the real estate and the personal property, but also you've got the component between the annual revenue per megawatt
Yeah.
or the M&T. That is another covenant that we put into the agreements.
Yeah, good point. That is the greater of
Yes,
per year.
yes.
Yeah.
And what's that look like?
Based off their, just their estimates, based off the megawatt on the SIN agreement, megawatt hours is 20,000 per megawatt.
That's that's the payment we'll provide in the
Guaranteed.
siding agreement. In terms of taxes, that's what I was saying, where the Commissioner of Revenue didn't want to give me estimates yet until
We
the
haven't
projects
assessed
were
it yet.
approved. But what I've seen from other counties, that's about 500,000 over the 40 years per project.
So it's $12,500 per year.
There's if you want to just divide over flat, but there's usually like
And we do a yearly budget, so that's what I like to know.
Okay,
Not
yeah.
a 40-year budget.
each year will be slightly different, but
So the 20,000 is one time, that's not yearly. Is that right, Alonzo?
The 20,000 per
Per
megawatt.
megawatt?
Yes.
Yes.
And let me talk a little bit about the greater of regime. So the default taxation on these projects is your local machinery and tools tax. So pursuant to state code, solar facilities aren't taxed at your local M&T rate. They're taxed at a rate that's not to exceed your local real estate tax rate. So you pick up your local real estate tax rate, which may float over time, and then apply the SEC depreciation schedule. So you get new asset in the ground, M&T payments are high at the beginning, and they taper off over time. What we've put in the siting agreement is, and y'all are familiar with revenue share because you've adopted an ordinance applicable to projects 5 megawatts and larger. That is a capacity tax of $1,400 per megawatt per year, indexed to increase 10% every 5 years beginning in 2026. So by the time this project is built, you're already going to be into the increase. So the way the majority of these projects work is M&T is the better deal in the beginning, and then somewhere along year 10, 15, revenue share becomes a better deal. M&T alone, that revenue tends to go down over time as a depreciation, unless they retool the project, and then you get a new depreciation sheet, everything starts over again. Revenue share, because it's indexed to increase, the M&T curve will come down, and then revenue share will hit it and pick up, and then throughout the lifetime of this project, those payments will go up. So it was designed to give you the best of both regimes without having to pick.
Yeah. Because we get an annual, just whether it's utility, AEP, or any infrastructure that we get an SEC report of the evaluation of utilities through the Commissioner of Revenue's office is what I do to use to build the budget off of annually. You'll see that utility. So,
You made a comment too about possible expansion, to be able to pick up more customers, I guess, than, 1,000 people that are gonna wanna take advantage of the, if it was me, I'd wanna say, yeah, I wanna take advantage of saving on my power bill. Everybody's been hit left and right on high power utility costs. So what's the opportunity? And is there any thought into that as far as expansion or expanding in to be able to pick up more homes or more households?
Yeah, good question. Well, keep in mind too, these are 10 megawatts total in the program, so there's 40 other megawatts that people could subscribe to. And if the interest of the county exceeds what our projects need for subscribers, we're happy to try to connect people to other projects. We have several others that we could subscribe people to. But basically the state will have to pass additional legislation to expand the program beyond the 50 megawatts, which they would likely be inclined to do if folks are calling for it and there's interest. Yeah, so we hope that that's the case. Yeah, yeah.
Any other board members or anybody from the public? Yeah, come on up to the podium, please. Yeah, please. Well, we just need to make sure that the public hears you too.
Okay, so
And this is Angie.
Angie Carpenter, Chamber of Commerce. My question is, how often do people need to sign up for it? Is it a yearly thing? If somebody signs up for it and then moves, how do those things get reappropriated to different customers?
I'll let them.
Good question. So if you move and you're still an Appalachian Power customer, you can maintain being a subscriber
Agreement.
to the project. Was there another?
Sorry.
That was all?
Does it last for a certain amount of time? Is there a cutoff?
Oh,
Sorry.
no, there's not a cutoff. You can cancel whenever you want for no cost. You can stay subscribed as long as the project is producing energy.
And you don't move out of Russell County.
No, just, yeah, don't know. Just kidding.
Those covenants is in.
Yeah, as long as you're APCO bill user.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Russell County?
Russell County's getting primary.
Well, you don't have to stay in the county to be a subscriber.
I know that, but
Okay. Yeah,
Is
just for
this-
clarity.
that is a covenant we're writing in as we speak.
Is this going out just to residences, or is it gonna be businesses as well, or?
Residences, yeah.
Okay, that's,
I got a question, can I ask one?
Yeah, please come up. I don't know you, let's see, what's your name? No, Artie.
First off, I know a little bit about fire departments, and the bigger you make that check, the better they'll like it. That'll help you there. Is this just for residential, or is it also apply to offices, commercial?
Residential.
Just residential, okay. I want to support the projects, and want to take this opportunity to say this is, I think, a good example of why we don't ever need zoning in the county. You get into these situations where somebody, I think about the farmer that's sweated on his land all these years. Maybe the kids and grandkids don't want to farm now. He wants to leave something to them, and this is a chance to get his very highest and best use out of it. Can maybe really hit a lick. And I think as long as it doesn't cause problems, encroachments and other thing on your neighbors and so forth, I think that people ought to basically be able to do what is the best and highest use for their property. So I just say I support the projects. I've done a little checking. Looks like we've got a good setting agreement in place. And so I think hopefully you'll go forward with it. Thank you.
Thank you, RD. And I thank a gentleman. Come on up, please.
Good evening. I'll be brief. It's good to see you all again, those that I've spoken to before. My name's Ben Wilson. I work with Energy Right. We're a nonprofit here in the state of Virginia that works to bring a conservative perspective in support of these projects, really trying to advocate for the property owner and responsible economic development while making sure that we can regulate these projects, but obviously avoid the big hand of government kind of controlling what people can and can't do with their land when they're doing it responsibly. Tonight, as you make your decision on the siting agreements and consider moving forward with these 5 megawatt projects, I just want you to consider the rights of the property owner. Obviously, it was mentioned just now, but as you consider the financial benefits of these projects and the neighbors, et cetera, please consider and remember the rights of the property owner. It was just mentioned, when we're allowed to utilize our land in a productive way and use our property to benefit ourselves, our family, and our community, we leave something for our families, our children, that they can use later on in life, and that's exactly what solar has the capacity to do. Also, of course, we've talked about it a lot tonight, or you all have addressed it, but the increased tax revenue and savings that are provided to ratepayers in Russell County and beyond. For context, I live in Roanoke. Roanoke actually has a project that will eventually come online, and I'll be able to subscribe to that, saving 20% on my bill. Of course, that's a very exciting thing for me, and I think that's an exciting prospect for Russell County citizens as well. So I encourage you to consider that as you make your decision. You have a great siting agreement. You've got great provisions in there that account for decommissioning, that incentivize a good project, good setbacks. Of course, these are 1,000 feet setback from the roads and other properties, but you have a great policy here, and I encourage you to consider all of that information as you make this decision. It's citing the good projects in Virginia, moving forward good projects with good siting agreements that tell the state to kind of stay back a little bit and avoid coming in and their big heavy hand controlling the decisions of local government. So as you consider these siting agreements tonight, I encourage you to keep in mind those few pieces of context. But appreciate your time this evening.
Thank
and
you.
Always happy to chat.
Yeah, thank you so much. Come on up.
Real stranger in here, aren't I? One thing that's come up a lot in these board meetings, and y'all have seen me at almost every, I'm Jared Ring, by the way, for those of you that haven't met me, is the fact that we are a predominantly senior county, and many of those folks are on a fixed income. And it's come up several times at this board how APCO, AEP, whatever you want to call them, are hiking bills, and that's hurting seniors, anybody on a fixed income. This is a easy way to reduce that burden on them, even if it's just a little bit. Extra $20 is gas to town to get your groceries, and that matters when you're on a shoestring budget. I think another question here is property rights, and I think as long as you're not doing anything that could potentially harm other people, your neighbors, you ought to be able to do what you want with your own property. And this will also create some limited amount of job creation and economic exercise in the county. I mean, somebody's got to install the panels, mow around them, maintain them, so it's slow, small, boring even economic growth, but it is economic growth, and that's something that we desperately need. And I really don't see much risk in this because there's two things Russell County has: farms and coal. And anything that could possibly come out of this environmentally impact-wise, a coal mine is 1,000 times worse. And farming is borderline gambling sometimes, because if you have a bad year, you can lose your hind end. And so if a farmer decides that he's got a slope of his land that he would rather use for this, I think he ought to have the right to do so. And I've sat in on about 4 of these shared solar projects from different companies, and I've read over this folks' documents, and this one seems particularly well researched, and I would recommend just getting out of their way, hammer out the fine points, and let them do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Anyone else? Come on up.
Unlike him, I am a stranger. This is the first time I've ever been in here.
Can you tell us your name, please?
My name's Bobby Woods. I've lived in Russell County pretty much all my life. I'm a Dant resident, and unfortunately, y'all want to give money to the fire departments, which we don't have no more, but that's another thing. My question is, if you sign up on this, you still have to carry, I guess, the ADP or the Appalachian Power. It will, but how would it go on your bill? How would that work?
Can I?
Yeah.
So, we're hoping that consolidated billing could be passed in the county, in the state, which I think we're working on hopefully early next year to be passed, which would allow it to all be on one bill from Appalachian Power. Right now, if that doesn't move forward next year, then you'd get two different bills. One essentially from Appalachian Power, and then one from the subscriber company. Yeah.
And you saying it's like a 20% deduction off your bill?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else? Yeah, come on up, Randall.
I just want to say that, of course, I'm Randall Hillman from Honegger, Virginia, the red bud capital of the world. So let's get that straight. But this has been a long process. These people, they came in and they brought in a lot of engineers. They checked a lot of things. They checked the view. You know, I've been clearing up a lot of cedar trees and turning it into pasture land. And I say, well, you know, I might cut it. No, you don't want to cut those down because we don't want to break. We want to break what the eyesight from other people's property to this property. And I don't know, somebody mentioned old age, and I've got plenty of old age. And that's one of the main reasons that I decided to do this. And they're talking about farming is a gamble. It is a gamble. And I've got 2 children, and I thought this would be a good way for me to tie up my property for years to come after I'm dead and gone. So that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Randall. Well, I will tell you this, to kind of give you the board brief update from the emergency management standpoint. As emergency management director, I've been working tirelessly on our communication network and feel very confident that we have a solution for that. And have worked with the sheriff's office on a consistent basis and had multiple Zoom meetings with different companies on how to fix our communications network, where we don't have really adequate communication in our rural area. So we will be able to announce that here in the near future, but one of the things about the negotiations working with the solar companies is part of that funding, like we talked about fire departments, RD, is this could help support the communication network opportunity. So our EMS, our fire, and our police officers will not have any dead spots within the whole county if we go this route. And it's a lot less expensive opportunity for us to go in this direction than it would be. And I'll be able to verse the people, the citizens of the county more and the board, now that I'm pretty heavily involved as chairman of the VCC and on the CPC executive committee. I've worked tirelessly with Lennowisco and all the other surrounding counties to be able to look at ways at fixing this. One of the things I've seen from tourism to economic development, whatever it may be, is a lot of people come in here and when they do to look in Russell County, they don't have Verizon as a cell phone carrier. They have T-Mobile or they have AT&T or whatever. And it's pretty embarrassing when they come in here and they can't even get a call out because they don't have that network availability. So I will tell you, we are committed to work on that and get that fixed ASAP. Very fit. I've met with fire department chiefs. I've got more meetings set up with them. They're all on board with it, so we can fix this dilemma. And RD probably knows more about it than a lot of people working with fire, rescue, and some of these other facilities. This money could actually be used to help offset that and let us be able to purchase the services and the equipment to be able to, and the governor, I met with him in Damascus, and it was kind of ironic. When I started talking to him about communication, he actually told me how to fix it, and it's exactly what we've been working on. So that goes a long way in seeing that the state would be on board also with this initiative. So I'll be able to let people know a little bit more about that going forward. So some of that money could be used to offset to fix our communication needs through our fire, rescue, and sheriff. And that would give our citizens to be able to lay down and sleep at night, to know that our people had coverage. And we did get sitting agreements already with Sheriff Andes, with putting a site on Hidden Valley, working with the college, getting a sitting agreement to put a system on the college to help fulfill Rebecca Dye's needs in the Belfast area. So I know, but with this other opportunity, I mean, I don't care to tell you, we're negotiating with Starlink to be able to place Starlink units on our vehicles in a way that there wouldn't be any communication errors. And then our radios would actually work with an app, so you'd have consistent coverage everywhere. And they've done it in West Virginia and Arkansas, and they're doing it all over. So I don't care to tell you. I mean, I'm working tirelessly to get this project off the ground. And once we get the estimates and stuff, and what they've told us is you don't pay for it unless you use it. So, you know, I think it's going to fix our communication needs throughout the county. Anybody, Ms. Wallace or anybody else?
No, but let's get back to solar.
Okay.
I've got one last thing. I didn't write it down here, and you said it was, how many acres are each one of these projects? Is it around 40?
It's about 24 acres fence, I think, per project.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think Scott wanted to follow up on the payment to the volunteer fire departments.
Yeah. Before I do that, I want to point something out that Tyler and Lonzo agreed to put in here, and I think it's really good, and it ties into what Supervisor Eaton was saying. The siting agreement clarifies and is really binding on both parties. And it's it's Article 2, Section 4, use of payments by the county. Payments provided by this agreement should be used by the county to support the county's operational and capital expenses for county services which may serve the project, including but not limited to fire and emergency response services, which is exactly what you're talking about. So I just want the public to understand that's a mutually binding tie-down of how this money is to be spent. And then while other folks were talking, Jesse and I put our heads together. What I'd like to propose is an additional sentence in the Exhibit A illustrative schedule of payments under additional voluntary payments. So you've got the $20,000 per megawatt bucket, so $100,000 per project. You got the $50,000 for county cost reimbursement with the pour over for whatever's unused. And then the third bucket, and I've drafted this, and I'm welcome to feedback, is in addition to these payments, upon receipt of building permits for the project, a payment of $25,000 should be made to the county to be allocated to volunteer fire and emergency service departments in the county. We're going to call that the third additional voluntary payment. So in total for two projects, that'd be $50K at building permits. If that would be acceptable to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone else in the crowd want to say anything? Anybody?
Are they any of these, are you working on anything else in the county outside of this project?
No, not at the moment. This is Not at the moment. No, these are our only projects with leases.
Is there any desire to work on more?
If possible, we're open to it. If that's of interest to the county, but we have no other leases right now.
Anybody else from the board or citizens? One more. I want to be respectful to everybody. Make sure we don't miss this opportunity. If you got anything you want to ask or say.
And what the board has to keep in mind, you've got another solar project that's coming in November. That is a community project also. That will have just about the same terms and conditions.
Do you know what I know we're not on that one yet, CEP, but what's the size of that one? I can't remember the acreage.
It's a 5 meg.
Same amount of acreage?
It will be a community project.
It was originally a community project.
It was originally a
They
commercial.
It was
reduced it down.
originally industrial, and it was going to be 125 acres.
Now it's a community project.
Okay.
Let's change that.
Okay, I'll
Real
close.
quick,
Okay, go ahead.
Dave,
I'm sorry.
I
I'm
didn't mean to
sorry.
jump on you there. So Tyler, and Lonzo in negotiating this, I'm sure and assuming that you all have looked at other agreements, and these are best practices and best, amounts that we can get for our county to benefit, in the best way, I'm sure, but just wanted to say it.
And I'll piggyback on that. And have you reviewed other counties that already have solar projects and how it's working out for them? Are they getting their money? Is it coming to them on a timely manner? Are the projects up and running? Or is it a promise that we agree with the site agreement, but then nothing has been constructed? Have y'all checked those out?
Okay, which question do you all want first?
Any of them.
Lord, we've looked at a lot of projects, and we looked at all the counties over the last year or so because we've been working on the solar. And of course, Gentry Lock knows all of them, just about in the state, because that's their legal representative. And we were a little tough in our negotiations. You know, we was trying to make sure that when, like I said before, that when Tyler and I sat down with these, that we negotiated the best deal for the county, but not just for the county, but for the residents. That's why when we looked at these and the community donations and what we could get up front and what projects that we have in the future, that's very important to the Board of Supervisors, and what income that we could have going out, the difference between the annual revenue versus the M&T. That way we don't depreciate ourselves out, because one of the things, if you're a business, whether it's utilities, what we see on the SEC, just like everyone, a depreciation curve starts going down, our revenue starts going down based off depreciation. So we put a caveat into it to be able to keep us a level playing field, as Mr. Kaiser had alluded to. So these are the best deals that we could do. These are both firms are, valid firms. So we've done our research, and I'll let Tyler speak on anything he has to say too.
Yeah, so I think Lonzo absolutely hit the nail on the head with all of that. We've looked at a couple different siding agreements. I guess Amherst, Madison, I think the list goes on and on. We've looked at those. Those projects seem to be up and running, seem to be doing well. So I think it's absolutely a good deal for Russell County. And Lonzo's absolutely right. Lonzo, I've got to give him a lot of credit there. Absolutely negotiated very hard for the county. Got a very good deal, what I believe, from New Leaf and from Mr. Foster through Gentry Lock. And ultimately, I think it boils down, and we heard this in the citizen comment, boils down to letting the landowner make the use of his property that he best sees fit as that landowner. So essentially what's tasked to the board here is whether the board gives the option to the individuals, to the residents of Russell County, to the taxpayers, the ability to save some on their electric bill. This isn't something that is a direct tie-in with the county so much as it is to the taxpayers' wallet themselves. So, of course, there's money coming back into the county. which I believe is very promising, but this has a longer and more direct impact on the taxpayers themselves rather than the board. And this, of course, being community, boils down to the landowner making the best use of his property based off his judgment.
Is, y'all may be able to answer this, y'all may be able to, I don't know. Is 20% reduction, is that kind of a common practice across other agreements?
Yeah, you're talking about for savings?
Yeah.
I'd say that's on the higher end. 20% is usually the highest I've seen. The main factor that comes into play is the minimum bill, which is this policy thing that the utility sets. Basically,
Nobody's going to have a minimum bill around here.
Yeah. I think most people would meet it pretty easily in APCO. That's kind of what goes into the calculation of the savings.
All right, one more question, and that is, in reference to the bond, is that payable to the county or the property owner, or how is that set up?
So the way this kind of decommissioning triage works is New Leaf is number one responsible. New Leaf fails, the landowner's responsible. The siting agreement requires the landowner to be listed as an additional insured. Essentially, the bond will pay to them before it pays to the county. If landowner fails to decommission the project, only then would the county need to step in, call on that money, and pay for it to be decommissioned. So, but it's that value is made to float through recalculations of the decommissioning costs so that you keep up with cost of labor, inflation, et cetera. And there's also a provision in the siting agreement that requires these project components to be recycled, which that's not in every siting agreement either. That was in the form of.
So First New Leaf would have to decommission. They would use the bond to decommission?
No, they would come out of pocket on that. They don't want to call that.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then the landowner would be second in line.
Correct. They could call on
the bond to do that.
They're an additional insured just like the county. Because
Okay, and so what if they take the bond and go to the casino and blow it on black?
I think the terms of the decommissioning surety, it has to be payable to the person doing the work.
Okay.
But it would be engaged by the landowner. It's
not that I think Randall would go down there to the casino and put it on black.
There's a casino a lot closer than there used to be. Yeah.
I just want to make sure
you're
there's some fail safes in there,
Right.
because that happens, and
Right.
then where's the money going to come from?
It goes to the service provider.
So it has to be.
Right.
Okay. All right.
And see, the covenants in there that on the bond is if they not just go to the decommissioning, we ensure that if they, no disrespect to New Leaf or any other company, if they default on that bond, it comes
It
available.
automatically starts.
We start moving.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
We put every fail-safe that we could in these agreements.
So when you added that section, that amendment, whatever you added, like C, just say the revenue, you have full authority to do that, or does your board of directors?
This is false, lady.
No.
It was 25,000 additional?
This is the decider on this matter.
Can we make
She's
it
the project
50?
developer.
Yeah.
We make it 50? Come on.
I know,
Meet me halfway.
It's 50 for both. You get 50.
Oh, it's 25 each?
25 each.
Yes,
Yeah.
20, you got two
Okay.
agreements here.
And that's additional to the 100 and the site plan 50,000.
So you got
too.
two agreements.
Correct.
Okay.
See, we did
How about,
that. We did
how about
this.
100?
We did
Let's go to 100.
He started too
Gotta
low.
get 100.
He started too low. The one thing I'll remind you, when you close this public hearing, make sure
50
you're
each.
closing it on both
I
of them.
thought they had double two or three times.
And yeah, you're saying she's but does she have full authority to do that?
She does. She's authorized. She's the one that's made all the calls on all these numbers. So.
Yes.
Where's your authority run out? That's just what I want to know. How high does it go?
But yes,
Well, it's irrelevant because when it goes in the agreement, somebody, when it goes into the agreement, somebody will sign it that has authority. So.
and back to Andrew's question, these are two agreements. These terms and conditions are applicable to both. So also the number of residents applicable to both, as will be your third one. So you're expanding at a minimum between two projects across. We have over 11,000 households that are in Russell County. There's approximately over 11,000. Now, it's not applicable to businesses or commercial or industrial. This goes directly right to the residents, and not their barns. We've checked these out too, not something that they've got outside or a nightlight or, yeah, it's got to be residential, and EP codes them explicitly for household. Yes.
Okay.
You did say that 2,000 residents could apply to this. Is that per project, or is that for both of the projects?
1,000 per
1,000 per
project.
project, okay.
Then you have another one that's available.
Okay, so the other one's gonna be a community project. I know I'm getting ahead of myself here, but the 50, is it 50 megawatts is
It's the total APCO program.
that's the APCO program.
Right.
So we're taking up 10 here.
Plus 5.
Is this other project already approved for the part of that 5 addition into that? Not, I know that's not your project,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying
That
is,
would be 15 of the 50, yes.
Yeah, if all
Okay.
three were
And
included
that's
as a
already-
program. Yeah.
Yes.
But one thing I will say, these projects are in the shared solar program. They've been selected. So that makes it a near certainty that they get built.
Sure.
I work with developers all over the state that there's a whole lot of shoes that have to drop before that thing ever starts construction and turns on. This one is down the path. So the likelihood of you getting 2 projects, if these are approved, is as high as it can get at this juncture.
so if I'm understanding right, between these 2 and the other one, we'll have a total of 3,000 residents being able to be subscribers. Okay, all right.
Okay, anybody else?
I mean,
Okay, I want to close the public
I
hearing.
was looking for a little bit more.
And now it's up to the board's discretion to take action on this.
What do we need, Mr. Chair? We need a motion to
Motion, yeah.
adopt.
I'm ready. I'm personally ready to make a motion to approve this.
Well,
If the board's in
is it,
agreement with it.
Tyler, is it one motion that can,
Can we do them both together
or
or separately?
can you do them both together or separate?
I would do them separate.
Yeah, we
Okay.
do, yes, because they're
Have two separate projects.
setting agreements.
Then do we need to make in the motion part of her addition?
Yes.
Yes.
So in the motion needs to include the additional amendment that she suggested.
Yes, the motion would need to basically be the siding agreement as amended at tonight's meeting by Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Project 1 and then project 2.
Yes,
Yes.
same motion for both, but separate motions. Yeah, worded the same.
Okay, I'll make
I'll make a motion on project 1 to include what she had suggested about the fire departments.
second.
Okay, got a motion and a second?
Remember, you changed the voting.
Yeah. Let's, everybody's looking. Okay, any discussion? No discussion, with raise of hands. Mr. Kaiser,
Go first.
you in favor? Yes.
Yes.
Lou?
Yes.
Tara?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, because that's what y'all want, and I agree, we shouldn't tell the landowners, but I don't want anything to look like Bristol VI campus coming back to bite us in a few years.
Okay.
And I will say yes.
And I also vote yes.
All right. Now second.
I'll
And
make
the
a
second
motion, I'll make a motion that we mirror the first motion for project 2.
Second.
And we got a second by Ms. Tara. Thank you, Ms. Tara. Any discussion? All in favor, start out with Nate.
Well, I always go first.
Well, you're that large. And then I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Call me fat peanut?
No, I did not. I did not say that. You're
I heard that.
you're
Y'all
the
heard
at-large member. No,
Large.
no, don't ever
All
go there. No, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, Andrew.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
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 And I'll say yes. I'm just trying to get clarity for, in all respect for Rhonda back here, so she can hear, she can keep up with what we're doing here. All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank
We'll
you all
finish
for
this up.
coming. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, new business, approval of the minutes. Consider approval of the minutes of the following meeting of the Russell County Board of Supervisors and the unapproved minutes of September 2nd, 2025.
Mr. Hill.
Hey, Randy.
Just skimming them real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we can do that.
We got a long-winded fella.
And we need to.
All right.
David, you talk.
Do we need a motion to approve the minutes? No?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, we have an issue in these minutes that we have a vote that is not correct, so I'm trying to find it, and I can't find it. On Mr. Kaiser's.
Okay, we just need to clarify that for the minutes. Hang on just a minute, they're looking that up.
Yeah. Nate, Andrew made the first motion. President, he's asking me who made the first motion.
Yeah, we're gonna have to amend it though. I guess. I don't know what you're looking for.
So we just need to have that clarified, and I don't know how to do it, but we don't need to say that these minutes are correct. And it's,
Well, Ms. Wallace, if I may, the motion has been made, it's been seconded. So it would be proper for a vote unless Mr. Hensley wishes to amend his motion.
We're in discussion, aren't we?
Yeah.
So can we discuss what the issue is?
Yes,
We can.
absolutely. If the board members want to bring,
No, Andrew just mentioned.
right above the county administrator reports and requests in the minutes.
Number 5?
Number 5.
5 under attorney? 5 under attorney?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Correct. If we could just fix that, clarify that, then I'm all good with approving the minutes.
What needs to be changed? My vote.
Mr. Kaiser's vote.
Yeah, I'm not sure on which part of it. There's 2 votes there.
I think you voted on the meeting.
I'll amend my motion to have the secretary check on that and make that correction based on the video and to approve the agenda beyond, or the minutes beyond that.
It was on 5 under the county administrator, attorney reports solar projects.
Okay, I've got a motion, an amended motion. Do I have an amended second?
Review, Phil.
Who gave the second?
Nate did. Do you want to amend your second?
Yes. Fine.
Okay, we got a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? And I'll start out with Mr. Kaiser, not the
All
at-large.
right. Yes.
Okay, now Andrew,
Yes.
Lou,
No.
Tara,
Yes.
Yes.
We are gonna correct it, right?
yes,
Okay, yes.
yes, okay, all right. Move on. Approval of the expenditures, consider approval of the expenditures presented for payment.
Motion to approve the expenditures.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion on the expenditures? I hope everybody's had an opportunity to look through everything. All in favor? We'll start out with Mr. Kaiser again.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
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 and yes. Is that easier, Rhonda? Yes, I got a yes from Rhonda. Okay, all right, now we got committee appointments. Thank you, board. Committee appointments, the Russell County Code Road Committee. I know Mr. Larry Stinson has served on this board for a long time, and we appreciate Mr. Larry for his commitment to serve on that board, and he no longer wants to serve, so we have, I think William L. Counts has applied for that position. Does anybody have a motion? They want to?
This position is appointed by the judge in the county.
Okay,
so
thank you, Andrew.
I don't think that we need
To take any action?
to take any action
Okay.
on that if the Lonzo and the attorney can clarify that. We don't appoint Coal Road Committee members, it's the judge, correct?
You can only make the recommendation.
Okay.
So do we need a recommendation?
Yes, you do. And he will take that in consideration.
We probably need to highlight that in this, if that comes up again, because I appreciate that, Andrew, letting us know that. Do you need to make a recommendation?
Make a
Do we need a
recommendation.
motion for the recommendation?
Yes.
I'll make a motion for the recommendation.
Okay.
I'll second it.
What's his name?
Is it male counts?
Mel Counts.
William, male counts. Okay, any
V-
discussion?
VDOT's already, considered these names too. Of
All
course,
in
Mr.
favor?
Yes.
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 Yeah, I'll say yes. Okay. It's going along pretty easy. So I appreciate y'all bearing with me here because I want to make her job a little bit more easier. Also, we have the Russell County IDA Board. We have Harry Ferguson and Danita Jackson coming up. But I think the town has a recommendation on the one for Deanne Jackson. And I think they've asked for
Scott
Gilmer
Yeah.
to fulfill that position. So if anybody has, wants to make a motion.
Since that's
All right.
since that's the town's appointment, I'll make a motion that Scott Gilmer replace Deanna Jackson for
Second.
the town's
Okay, we have a
request.
motion, and thank you, Mr. Kaiser. Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
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 Keep going down the line here. Nate's right with me now.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
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 Yes. All right. And
Mr. Harry, I'm going to recommend Mr. Harry Ferguson. He served on the board before, and as our gentleman's agreement, we all had one to represent, and he has been mine. So I am nominating Harry Ferguson.
I'll give you
okay.
a second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second by the dice. So I don't get them mixed up. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Uh,
Aye.
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 Now, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Mike Hincher, who was a previous IDA board member, who had to give it up because of his work requirements, and very knowledgeable, well-connected, and I think he would be a great advisor to add to the IDA. So I'll nominate Mike.
Now,
Okay.
is this position, no pay,
voting.
no voting?
No.
No vote?
No
No
nothing.
pay? Okay.
So you gave a motion, right?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you a second for discussion.
Yes.
So we might get,
Do you really need a second on nominations? I don't,
this is your IDA Board Advisory
Yeah.
Committee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yes.
Do we need it? If we don't, I won't give you.
Well,
one.
no, I would go ahead and proceed with that. And the reason why I think I know where Lou's going with this, I think each one of us board members need to be able to pick an advisory person to represent our area districts. And if we can find someone really skilled to be able to do this, so and it don't have to be just in my district. I mean, it could be somebody that's just very well versed in business and has some very well connections to the outside on some of the projects and project development that we're working on. So I will let Lou speak now.
Well, I didn't know I was going to be on the spot, but I will certainly give my opinion here. So, yes, if we're going to do advisory personnel, now I understand that this one came from Jim Baldwin's seat as an advisor, representing Cumberland Plateau, who has deep financial interest in a lot of things that we do as an IDA. Now, I'm sure Mr. Hincher has a good background, but what I want to bring out is if we're looking for the connectivity between IDA boards and possibly funding mechanisms, that I would like for us to consider inviting the St. Paul IDA to the table with their chair to represent them in some of these capacities, because I know that we're trying to work across the county lines and the planning district lines to other IDAs, such as Wise County. So you have one sitting in the middle, so I would like to ask for that seat also.
That's fine. And I think, Miss Rebecca, didn't you have an advisory person in mind?
Yes, I would like to put Mr. Tommy Schrader's name in. He's very well known. He's land, real estate, business, lumber and timber, and gas and oil. So, and he has lots of contacts, and he could give us a lot of help in bringing in some new business.
And I will say, now that we've got three, and Lou, you can, what's the name? St. Paul's?
The St. Paul chair of the IDA.
Chairman.
Okay.
Bob?
Harrison is not the chair anymore.
Okay.
No. So with this, if any of the other board members, Tara, Andrew, Nate, myself, don't have a recommendation tonight, I would ask that next meeting, we'll put that on the agenda if you want to address that as far as the advisory committee at that time. We can take these up, or if you've got somebody in mind now, we can.
How does the IDA's bylaws account for this, and do
We do.
they allow for X number of advisors? I mean, is it unlimited? And the reason I
think
ask
it is
is
limited.
because I know if you got two people together, you can come to an agreement. You get three or more, and it's
No.
They had either 3 or 4 previously.
I think
There's
they
Jim
only, I think there
Baldwin,
is some
yeah.
in their bylaws, and Mr. Lesher can speak on that.
We did check this out before we did this. Now, first start off with the advisors, that's up to the governing board. Now, to be equal and fair, you all have, there are 7 board members, you could have equal representation. So there's no terms or conditions in their bylaws or their charter that limit your number of advisors due to this. Based off the projects that Russell County's got coming in the future, you're going to need different people with different skill sets. You're going to have them with agriculture, infrastructure. Different, you see where I'm going with this? Each one of them has their own skill sets that you're going to be able to do depending upon housing, other places, manufacturing. which is another one that's on the agenda tonight. So when y'all choose your 7, that'd give you equal representation. That's what you should have in consideration. Don't put, I'm not, it's up to y'all, it's y'all's discretion. Don't put 7 in agriculture on there. I'm just using that as an example. Have a diversified, advisory group to where the IDA can call on them at will, whether it's Bill, Bob, or John, to be able to say, you're a subject matter expert in this, and then we'll use them as advisor. As far
So
as
this isn't something where they're going to the meetings and.
yeah, they can go to the meetings, but it doesn't mean anything as far as a quorum or a board member. They're an advisor. They can sit in based off their experience. They have no influence on the board. They're there as a
Okay.
consultant.
I was
or advisor.
thinking more like a consultant. You just have a problem, you call the consultant and say, hey.
Yeah, it's an advisor.
So does the advisory board have access to closed session meetings? and
That's up to
That's up to the
sensitive
board.
information?
The
IDA board.
IDA can invite them in. That's at the discretion of the IDA. And sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. So it's at the discretion of the Board of Supervisors.
Who is the St. Paul chairman now? There it is.
It doesn't necessarily have to be that person, but it can be the IDA is what I asked for. I've been asking for this since 2017.
Well, we had, and looking into this, Mr. Kaiser, a little bit, we got to looking at this, and a lot of these people that served in advisory roles are no longer, they don't even live in the county. They've moved, they've left, and so we didn't really have anything. I thought it would be beneficial to have, if we could find some of the right people, because we're doing regional revenue sharing agreements, we're working regionally, we're getting agreements signed from different people in different counties to grow us economically and bring in a lot of jobs and opportunities. So I felt if we had these advisors that had a different connection that could work alongside the IDA members, that helps, because if you look at it, anybody that we try to get on these boards usually are consumed. They have full-time jobs, they work all the time, they have a lot of things. So it kind of helps balance that if they have other people that are retired, like Mike, that can do a lot of work, communicating or talking and certain things. So I think it's a good idea, and I think it'll give us more people helping our IDA communicate with these people in these projects.
I view these advisors' positions as something the IDA can call on if they need help with any kind of particular subject matter that these people have expertise in.
And they don't have to use them.
Yeah,
It's
they don't
just
necessarily
upon
have to use them, and I don't even think they necessarily have to attend the meetings unless, there's something that they need them to come in and help with.
So we do have a motion on the table. Do we need to take these separately, Tyler?
Yes, I would do each one individually.
Okay. So we have Mike Hincher. We have a motion on the table for Mike and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Start with Nate.
Aye.
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 And I say aye. Okay, then we have the one for Tommy Schrader. Have a motion by Miss Rebecca for Tommy Schrader. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we got a second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, starting with Nate.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye. Okay. And the next one is Ms. Wallace's choice, St. Paul IDA. And Ms. Wallace made a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We got a second.
Discussion.
Discussion.
Just for clarity, it does not have to be the chair, but I did ask for the chair. I think that's a good representation. But there's well-qualified people that sits on that IDA board that would more than likely be able to do a great advisory for this board. I just want them to be connected. That's all there is to it. So
That's-
thank you for hearing me out.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Wallace, and I'm in agreement with that. Okay. All in favor, Nate?
I have a question before you get
Yeah,
there.
go ahead.
How would you determine who shows up or who is the person that IDA sends? To whoever they want to, so it's rotating or?
Let them make the decision.
Okay. Aye.
Okay.
Yes.
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 And yes. All right. Thank you all. Okay. We'll move on. We got the Russell County Library Board appointment.
Okay, I've got another one on this one. Sharon Van Dyke has left. She's decided she didn't want to be on there.
Her busy schedule and
Do
stuff.
you have anybody? I want to ask you to sit on in that board for at least until you can find somebody to replace yourself.
Okay.
Give you some incentive to find somebody.
All right. You're asking me to serve on the library board.
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Okay. Okay.
David needs something else to do.
Yeah, oh, Lord have mercy. So, Steve has made a motion to put me on the library board. I used to
You didn't even say thank you.
I'll wait and just see how this.
I'll second that.
Oh, we got that. All right, we got a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Nate?
Aye. Yes.
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 Don't sound so
Yes.
enthused, Lou. Hey, gosh.
Okay.
And I'll abstain. I know. And the next one is, I think in Miss Rebecca's district.
I'll make the motion for Mr. Bremen.
Thank you, Miss Rebecca.
I'll give you a second.
We got a second by Miss Dye. Any discussion on this one? Okay,
He has
Nate?
previously served, and he attends faithfully, and something he's passionate about.
All right,
Aye.
okay.
Yes.
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 And I'll say yes. Thank you all so much. And we got the Russell County Tourism Committee. We've got two that have resigned, and we have actually a couple of people I think that's put in. If
Okay, Janice Halsey was my representative, and she has resigned for personal reasons. And I'm going to nominate, I got a application in from a lady, Jessica Monroe, and she's actually not in my district, but she is so qualified that I'm going to nominate her to fill my position, be my representative in District 5.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Brady. Do we have a second? Thank you, Ms. Dye. Any discussion on that selection? All in favor? Mr. Kaiser?
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay, the next one, Mr. Dustin Blackson.
Yes, Mr. Chair, that is District 2. Dustin is coming out of my district. He has also been very, very busy with things. I do want to say, while we're at this, before I make a motion, that the Heritage Committee did a great job, and I think that they need to be commended. So if you're in the audience anywhere or listening, a wonderful job on that. And I think Dustin helped head that up. So I do have Faith Martin, I believe, has put in an application. And she is out of my district. I'm sorry, Faith Stacy, her name's changed. But anyway, she lives in my district, and I've got her application. Does everybody else have one? If you don't, I'll see that you get it. Anyway, motion for Faith Stacy, please.
All right.
District 2.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, Mr. Kaiser?
Aye.
Yes.
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 And yes. Thank you all so much. Now we got Russell County Planning Commission. We have Mr. Philip Addington and Ernie McFadden, the director of the IDA, for another 4-year term.
Well, I'm going to renominate Ernie since he serves as chairman on that planning commission.
Okay, we have a nomination for Ernie. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we got a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Wow.
Yes.
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 Yes, okay. And the next one is Mr. Philip Addington.
Mr. Chair, Philip comes out of District 2, and I have not got an application or anything from Philip, and he has sold his home, so I'm assuming he's staying in District 2, but can we hold that one, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
So will he continue to serve until we replace?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Until we can communicate with him. All right, now we have Dank Community Center, Ms. Wallace.
For the Dank Community Center, that would be Jason Gullett and Catherine Pratt. I'll do that as a slate because they all serve together, if that's okay with Mr. Attorney today.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'll give you a second.
Okay,
Thank
we
you.
have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If none, Mr. Kaiser?
Yes.
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 And yes. Thank you all so much. I need the list for citizens' comment period, please. Okay. First one up is Amy Branson.
Good evening. Amy Branson, The Flats. I thought it was a good vote on the solar. Thank you. That was a good project. Let the landowner do what he wanted to do and not environmentally impactful to the rest of us. So thank you for that. For the focused audit or the fiscal audit that the board was considering, I would like to see that as a focused audit and not a complete audit, because I think a complete audit would be too expensive to incur for the taxpayers. But I would like a focused audit, and I would like that to be concentrated on the PSA. I think that that might be the most bang for our buck, and it looks like from what I've seen in some documents that that needs investigated further by the board. I know the alcohol is in the meeting packet later, but I was not happy with the use of a referendum to discuss the Sunday sale of the beer ordinance. Everyone was granted a similar opportunity to come and speak for or against, and the only ones who showed up to have any say were the ones who wanted to do away with the ordinance. It's an undue burden on our fine restaurant in Castlewood when people can go to St. Paul and drink beer on Sundays. People want to drink beer for football. I'm not a huge drinker, but I want to support the Mexican restaurant. We have very few restaurants in Castlewood. The Pizza Hut is overgrown and looks terrible. Might want to call them about that. I tried, but they won't call me back. Anyway, I would like to say if the board does vote on something in the future, like a referendum, that they follow through. I know that they've been reminded. I know Mr. Ing reminded them about the referendum, and I'm disappointed that it wasn't on the ballot. I don't agree with wasting our taxpayer money on something we could have voted for. But then also, if we say we're going to do something, I think we should try to follow through. So, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Jared.
Hey y'all, me again. Let me start out by saying I'd much rather be hunting right now. If I'd headed straight there after work, I could already had a yearling spike with 3-inch tines most of the way to the freezer. Instead, I'm here to talk about an ordinance that should have been put to bed a year ago. The beer and wine ordinance was supposed to be on the ballot, but it wasn't. And when I started down the path of trying to get this ordinance repealed, we hadn't set the tax rate yet. It was my hope that it would be easy revenue for the county, not just in alcohol, but in the meals and gasoline that accompany that. Credit card processing fees as well. What I'd hoped would be a 1-month turnaround for what, if it was boiled down to household finances, would be an extra $20 in the county's wallet, instead has been dragged out for over a year and wasted taxpayer money. And that's saying nothing of the harm it's done to small business. Several businesses are affected by this, mostly in the poorer, disincorporated parts of the county. But in particular, El Palenque is getting worked over it. Just for one example, the Sunday night football crowd is a big one. Folks wanting to catch a game over a beer are just going to St. Paul. And they're taking the gas they're buying, they're taking their credit card fees, they're taking everything else revenue-wise to St. Paul. And these folks at El Palenque, they're small, but they are consistent business. They employ people. And they deserve to be able to compete with St. Paul on a level playing field. What kind of investor would see the treatment this business has experienced and decide they want to invest here? They're being hamstrung a seventh of the time. Who would see that and want to create a business here? And they're also being blocked from selling margaritas, which at the time the ordinance was written in the 40s would have been banned by state law. Now it's not. And they were allowed to sell those during COVID because state law superseded. So they're being blocked from selling something that's not even in the ordinance, and they've got tax records from a couple years ago they could demonstrate loss from. That feels like a recipe for a lawsuit to me. And there's been a lot of talk about transparency and fiscal responsibility here. Dragging this out for a year for reasons unknown, after wasting taxpayer dollars on a public hearing where every member of the public said to repeal it, then not even doing the referendum, is neither fiscally responsible nor transparent. We wasted money on the hearing. We were going to waste money on a referendum that didn't happen. And then it didn't happen for reasons that are unclear. So I'm asking you right here and right now to do what's right and repeal this. Now, if state code stipulates that we have to have another hearing, so be it, but deal with this as soon as possible. This has come up with several times in recent memory, and it's always fizzled out. But I'm here to tell you that wasn't me. I'm not going away about this issue. If I have to, I'll bring it up every single meeting. When Lebanon had their referendum, the cloistered geriatrics for which these ordinances were originally written protested the repeal as hard as they could, and they still lost. The county as a whole would have gone the same way if they'd been given a chance in a referendum. So I'm asking you to stop dragging this out, put this prohibitionist relic to bed like every county around us has had the good sense to do. Thank you. Oh, and if you're looking for somebody for the library, I would suggest Kim Fife, even if she's out of your district.
Thank you, Jerry. Okay, Tammy Garrett.
Good evening. I'm Tammy Garrett. I'm from Lebanon. I just want to say, starting off, that I agree with what Amy said about the PSA audit, that's where the funds and attention needs to be concentrated. I also agree with the solar. I think that's a great idea. I just wish that there was a way that we could maybe be able to help elderly people that, I mean, I know it's first come, first serve, but it would be great if there would be a way to help elderly people or the people who really, really need it be aware of this and be encouraged to apply for it. But I'm here this evening to address the alcohol ordinance, and this is an issue that could have already been settled or very nearly settled on Election Day if it had been followed through by the board members, the county administrator, and the county attorney. We've already had a public hearing regarding the repeal of the ordinance, as some folks felt that they needed to hear from the county residents about it. And at that public hearing, everyone who spoke favored repealing the prohibition ordinance. No one spoke up to protest it or to keep the prohibition. Not one person spoke for that. So that tells me, and it should tell you, that there's very little interest in or opposition to the repeal of the alcohol ordinance in the county. I think the sensible path forward at this time is to repeal the prohibition by a vote with no further waste of the taxpayer money. I'm not sure that that's even possible at this time. Another hearing would just be a further waste of time and money, but I understand if that's part of the code that it has to be done. But it's also clear from the board's agenda that there's just been so much waste of time on a matter that has gone on far too long. It's simple. It would be easy to correct. It's just went on far too long, and we just need to get past it and get it corrected. I remember at one point when this board was first elected, they said that they were looking into answering citizens' questions at the meetings, or in real time, I guess you would say. For the most part, that's not happened or not even really been addressed. The only time that it does happen is when board members feel compelled to speak out to explain or defend themselves, but not to answer questions from the citizens. So at this point, I believe it really does not matter how this alcohol issue ended up not being on the ballot as it was supposed to. It's clearly a failure, the fault of all the board members, the county administrator and the county attorney, for not following through diligently with their job duties and following through with agenda items. And I think it does need to be addressed promptly, and we need to get the whole thing settled, cleared up, and for the whole community to move on with this issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Ben Wilson.
He left.
Okay, Ben's left.
I think he spoke his piece during his.
I think so. Bill Lane. That was part of the solo hearing. It's Bill Lane. I don't want to miss him. Okay. Donnie Tackett.
Good evening, y'all. It's good to see all of you again. My name's Donnie Tackett. I was here last meeting talking about the roadway on Creekside Drive. And first, I'd like to recognize the Charlie Kirk. I really appreciate that. That's a good thing you're doing. That's good. And the solar, that's a great thing too for the county and citizens of the county. On the roadway, we have fixed income residents that live in that area. There's 6 homeowners, property owners, and I'm one of those in that area. And there's a lot of pass-through traffic through there, but we're only requesting the 1,200 feet to be improved, which would really help those residents on fixed income because they're maintaining all the pass-through traffic. State troopers, fire, rescue, water services, they're coming and using the road all the time. They're passing through there. But if that small section could be addressed, it would really help the residents in that area. And I followed up with an email. And if anything I can do to help process that or push it through, or I'm there to help in any way I can. And thank you so much for your service, all of you.
Thank you, Mr. Tackett. Charles King Jr.
Thank you for the opportunity to come up here. I've heard some good things tonight to produce revenue, but I'm kind of wondering why I'm standing here bringing up this alcohol thing again. I thought back last year this was taken care of. I'd be kind of redundant to speak after Jared and them spoke. So I'm going to point to my community, Belfast community. We've got a little store out there. It has struggled for years. And this very issue is one of the reasons why, because on Sunday, they cannot sell alcohol. All people have to do is go to Dollar General over at Wardell and they've lost the revenue. I'm concerned the store is going to close. I went down there to get some gas the other day, and you have to go in and pay right now, and that's been an on and off thing because they don't have the revenue coming in, and that's kind of hamstringing that business on Sunday. And I would hope as soon as possible y'all get this issue took care of. Let us know something one way or another.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
King. Thank you, sir. R.D. Sneed?
I'm going to talk about this alcohol thing too. I've been thinking about this a little bit, and I think there's 2 or 3 different areas we ought to look at on this. One is a matter of fairness. You've got Lebanon, you got St. Paul. You can have liquor by the drink in those areas. You got Castlewood sitting there. And of course, our auction company actually sold the town of Castlewood some time ago, so you might can blame some of this on me. We sold the town hall and all the council chairs and all that. It was a big thing back in the day. So they don't have a town to kind of protect them and bring an umbrella in under their own ordinances. So that leaves it with the county. And I think one of the things, I was talking to somebody else the other day about this. For those of us that have small businesses here, a lot of you already have them, some of you don't. It's not the easiest thing. There's other places people probably could have went to and been a little easier. But for an awful lot of us, obviously you all included, we think Russell County is worth fighting for. And anytime you can give a small business a chance to at least be on the same page as their competitors, I think we ought to do that. Nobody's wanting anybody to come at any restaurant and get drunk and get hurt somebody out on the road. That's not what this is about. But it's just a fact from a business standpoint. People coming in and so forth, they expect those amenities, and to not have them, it does hurt us some. So I think, as a matter of fairness, number one, I would like to see you all go ahead and tackle this tonight, for that matter. It doesn't look like that can get on the ballot at this time. I guess it's too late. Don't know. Got an attorney over here can probably answer that question. But is it in fact too late to get on the ballot now?
It is. I'll address a lot of that in the county attorney reports.
Okay. But anyway, I would like for you all to maybe go ahead and deal with that tonight. I want to second what Tammy said a while ago. I thought it was pretty telling when we did have the hearing, and basically nobody showed up to oppose it. I noticed when we had it on the ballot in Lebanon, it passed overwhelmingly. I'll say this in close, probably 30 years ago, when Floyd Quillen was still in the General Assembly, he had slipped a bill in to benefit Duffield Industrial Park down there. And it allowed for liquor by the drink inside the industrial park. The rest of the area couldn't have it. So I asked him one time if he might do that here, and he was good enough to do it. So we slipped it in the Cumberland Plateau District. And that shows you how far behind the times we were at that time to have to slip one in a regional industrial park in order to make it available. And I think we want to catch up a little bit would be my suggestion. Thank you all.
Thank you, R.D. Thank you. Okay, Chad Terry?
Hello, thank you, folks. Yeah, I'm here today to put my 2 cents in about the Blue Bill. This is like an old, outdated Jim Crow-esque law that somehow still exists in 2025. I bet if you look deep, you'd probably find a bunch more that need to be gone too. It's no wonder people think we're behind the times and that we're backwards and that we're ignorant and so forth, so on. Because honestly, this issue did get attention a year ago. And I don't even know if it's just up to you guys to have a vote right here and be able to change something like that. Probably not, but maybe. But I just really feel like we're being underrepresented from the local level all the way to the federal government, as far as we can go, as constituents. And Jared laid it out for you last year pretty clearly, and And, you know, and there was no opposition to it. I just don't know if there is anymore. I just know that the only people that I know that are between lawyers, if you didn't have a lawyer time, are criminals. And maybe somebody who's, you know, in a divorce and there's a conflict of interest. But I've never known anyone who, you know, between lawyers besides criminals. And it's really frustrating to see the simple things get dragged out like this when the community is just asking for something positive. And it's a positive plus for everybody. Just the other night, I was at a wonderful, beautiful wedding with the family of the folks who own El Palenque, and I love them all dearly, and they're wonderful, beautiful humans. And you know, those folks work a hell of a lot harder than a lot of lazy people I know. And Miles and Paul's ain't doing nothing anymore because of things like that. There's little things that we can do to stop this systemic kind of downtrodden of our communities. And I feel like we shouldn't do it to ourselves. And it's kind of like we're self-handicapping ourselves on certain things that we don't have to. So, and being a server and being a bartender, like up here at Applebee's, man, so many times on Sunday, they're like, you got the shift on Sunday. I'm like, I don't want to be here on Sunday, but everywhere else, I always like, I got Sundays. Exit 7 Sundays. Because it's really hard to tell somebody that sits down and wants to watch a game that you can't have a beer, and the shock and the relief and the weirdness goes over their face. And they don't even know what's going on. And then I have to explain to them that we're a moist county. And, you know, use the word moist, it automatically that, but it's what we are. We're a moist county. You know, I just believe that stuff that, as I believe, you know, I believe that this stuff that was put into place for like a moral regulation based upon people's beliefs has kind of just become something that just really does put a raccoon dick toothpick in our mouth and make us look like, you know, like country folk. And we are, and we should be proud of it because I am. But I am not proud of the way that y'all feel. I feel like y'all treat the constituents, and I just like to say, like in 2025, seems like you don't have to walk down the crossroads like Robert Johnson did to sell your soul to the devil. You just have to cozy up to corruption, lies, and all this government nonsense. It just keeps progress from actually happening. And I would just like to say that it would help out a lot of folks that shouldn't be driving around Saturday night after drinking the way they do just to get a couple more beers to knock the edge off on Sunday. But, you know, 14% of a weekly revenue for a small business is huge. And I know I've lost a lot of money here, and the old mill. I mean, really, the old mill was really different because the IDA had made a deal out there for them to do something different on the other end of town than in town limits, which just seems like it's being divided up so people can make money somewhere somehow within something. And that's what we're really worried about is money. Then let's do the plus and let's get some booze out here, man. It's not killing us. Jesus ain't gonna hate us if we get drunk on Sunday. It says not to work, not to, you know, have a beer and watch football. So. But I agree with the solar thing, and I'd like to get involved on that, especially where we are at the end of the line. Appalachian Power, of the same 37 people out there on Gravel Lick is out when the wind blows, because we're in between ODP and you know, in the Appalachian Power. And hell, we're so far in the holler that solar wouldn't work for us. The sun wouldn't hit the yard or whatever till 10 o'clock, and it'd be gone by 2. So, but I think it's a good idea, and thank y'all for hearing me out.
Thank you, Chad. Appreciate it. David Ball.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Prepared some remarks. David Ball, Cleveland, Virginia. How you guys doing? The first thing I wanted to discuss was the solar project. I'm in full support of that. I'm happy to see I'm not the only one. Thanks, you guys. Shifting gears, Dane needs a new fire department. I'm on board with a new location and a new building since the old one is no longer fit. Between hiring another county to do it and supporting our own, I would prefer supporting our own. Anything you can do to help Mr. Me get up and running, that would be fine by me. Anything is better than nothing, but I think it would be good if we could take care of our own first. They will, of course, need to bring their SCC file to current again, pay the annual dues, file the appropriate Form 1023, and possibly catch up last year's Form 990, even if all the paperwork just has a bunch of zeros on it. Lack of compliance, I believe, is what led to the current predicament, and the only solution for that is to improve compliance moving forward. I'd like to hear from the board what the plans are for the Dane Fire Department. Daniel says you want to answer questions about it. So let's see if that's so. If you want to tell us what's on your mind, we'd love to know. One more item I wanted to discuss is the repeal by vote of the alcohol ban ordinance. The temperance movement was lost many decades ago. In 2025, people order alcohol deliveries from merchants as far away as downtown Abingdon, requesting alcohol to be delivered to their homes in rural Russell County. I've seen the orders. I know the demand exists. I know people are traveling to buy it. And I know that they are drinking on Sunday in Russell County, whether anybody likes it or not. What I also know is that the ordinance as it is only stands to benefit particular ABC licensees in Lebanon to the detriment of all other ABC licensees outside of Lebanon. In other words, businesses in Honaker, Castlewood, Elk Garden, Cleveland, Hansonville, etc. are negatively positioned in the marketplace to only be allowed to use their permitted license 85% of the time, with 15% of the time running up against an ordinance half a century old that nobody cares about anymore. Like, I think what's good for the Lebanon Goose is also good for the Russell County Gander. And if you can't stop people from buying alcohol on Sunday in the county seat, this town of Lebanon, where your boardroom is, you have already lost the battle of prohibition. And keeping it going forward is unjust discrimination of ABC licensees in only certain parts of the county you may not favor, particularly exclusively benefiting only the Lebanon district. Why would 5 other districts and an at-large continue this unjust discrimination against business owners in the county outside of Lebanon? I would like to request this alcohol ordinance be repealed tonight if possible, or as soon as possible. Not because I like drinking, because I don't, but because I value freedom, which we're infringing upon. The freedoms of businesses, the freedoms of consumers, and worst of all, the freedoms of our visitors and tourists. I'm laissez-faire when it matters most. This regulation hurts our business in a variety of ways, and it needs to be repealed as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Okay, that's the end of my list, I believe. Let me turn the page. Yep. And we'll move on. Thank everybody for speaking. Constitutional officers reports and requests, county attorney reports and requests.
Yes, were there any constitutional?
I don't think we have anybody here.
Okay.
Bill's here.
Yep.
Is Bill?
Sheriff?
Bill, do you want to say anything? I can't see. I'm glad y'all can. I can't see.
I don't really have anything to say. You know, we're always here to take any questions. If anybody needs, ask anything. You know, we're moving forward, working with the helipad thing. I've talked to Dave, and everything's right on course for me. Do y'all have any questions for me?
Appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you. All right, Mr. Attorney.
Yes, so the first thing I have on my portion of the agenda is the forensic audit. So the county has received 3 bids. Those are still sealed, so those will have to be unsealed during a committee meeting. And of course, the forensic audit committee this year is Mr. Breeding and Mr. Kaiser. So that would take place in a meeting with those two and myself as legal counsel and the county administrator, presumably so. At which point, you know, the decision process would come down to the committee from there. But there has been a number of inquiries and 3 official bids received. The second portion of my agenda is the Daint Fire Department litigation. So the litigation has received a settlement offer from the plaintiffs, which of course would be Daniel Meade and the Daint Fire Department Incorporated. So the settlement offer would be for the county to waive any and all interest in the remaining fire department equipment, with each party going its separate way. So before acting on that, of course, under the ethical rules of the Virginia State Bar, I have to present any and all offers for settlement to my client, of course, the client here being the Board of Supervisors. So I would need a motion whether to accept that settlement offer or to reject that settlement offer to proceed forward with the matter.
I'll be happy to make a motion. I make a motion that the county attorney should reject that proposed settlement agreement from Tim Anderson and authorize the county attorney to proceed with the litigation to the extent deemed necessary by him and his firm.
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Who owns that equipment? Who's it belong to?
Yes, so that would be up in the air. So essentially, with Dank Fire Department going under and losing SCC recognition in 2015 and now being ineligible to refile for that, I believe that is the next step in the litigation, is to ask the court to determine who has the possessory interest in that property.
So why would we vote to do anything if we don't know who owns the property?
Yes, so we are already a party to the suit, the board is. So without some sort of authorization or a vote from the board, it stays at a standstill in action from the board. So regardless, we do need a motion whether to accept that or deny it, because although not by our own choosing or by the board's own choosing, we are already a party to that suit.
Okay, I just don't understand how I can vote to decide to give property to someone when I don't know who owns it.
Yes, I think that's a perfectly reasonable question.
Okay, I'm done.
So they claim to own the
They do.
equipment, okay. Is there anything in their bylaws or anything in documentation that guides on what happens with that equipment after ceasing to operate?
Yes, the last section of the Dank Fire Department, the actual Dank Fire Department's bylaws, says that upon a vote to dissolve by majority members, a majority vote of the trustees and the general membership of the Dank Fire Department, the property would revert to the county. And at this point in time, based off of my investigation, there is, which has been as thorough as I think it could be, there's no trustees left living of the Dank Fire Department, and one or two, if any, duly elected members of the Dank Fire Department.
Do they have to be an SCC corporation to be the Dayton Fire Department?
Yes,
And they don't have that
that's correct.
as of 2015.
That's correct.
So that's when they ceased to exist.
Yes.
So the Dank Fire Department legally has not existed for 10 years. Is that what you just said?
That's correct.
Okay.
And if I may, since we're in discussion, a nonprofit, that's what we're talking about, an organization and a nonprofit has a period of time, a grace period, that they can come back into existence. So from 15, they had until 17, I think,
That would be correct.
to come back into existence and
Yes.
claim their real name.
Yes,
And they did not do that either.
that would
So-
be correct.
Okay, just to clarify.
And at this point, based off SCC records, they are ineligible for reinstatement.
And that name cannot be used again,
As Dank Fire Department as a non-stock corporation.
correct?
Yeah, any further discussion? We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Mr. Kaiser?
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, thank you all so much. Go ahead, Mr. Attorney.
The next item I have is the Fire Services Ordinance. So essentially what the Fire Service Ordinance would entail is it establishes the fire departments and the fire companies throughout the county. And the distinguishment there, fire departments would be within town limits, fire companies would be those that's outside within the county boundaries, but not within the corporate limits of any town. So it would outline what those fire departments and fire companies are in the county, the agency's requirements, what their equipment must be. It outlines the fire chief's duties and responsibilities. It outlines how any additional agencies would be formed, or should any of those existing agencies be dissolved, it would take care of what happens with the equipment and how that dissolution process looks. So that particular section would address and prevent anything such as what's going on with the Dane Fire Department from happening again. So we would need of course, there's not been a public hearing on this ordinance yet, so we would need a motion from the board to set a public hearing should we want to move forward with that.
Okay.
I'd like to offer a motion to do that, please.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Wallace.
Okay, I got a discussion question. So
Okay,
this
discussion.
this would require these companies and departments to incorporate this into their bylaws for dissolution and distribution of their equipment after ceasing.
Yes,
correct?
that would be correct.
Okay.
And Lonzo, clarification on this, please.
Yes, ma'am.
All the fire chiefs, they did meet, they have discussed this, they gave you some input?
We had extensive input from them, and the draft that's been done by the Complete Fire Chiefs Association was given to me and Mr. Eaton at their last attendance when we was there meeting with them, communication on the Starlink and other issues with the fire departments. This is the draft that was given to us. We made our corrections as far to make sure it was in compliance with the code and the requirements of the state of Virginia to continue, and has been reviewed by the county attorney. So this is approval by the Russell County Fire Chiefs Association.
Mr. Attorney, the fire companies, we have Dayton Volunteer Fire Department listed as incorporated, but they are not. So would they not have to be left off of this list until we actually have a Dayton Fire Department?
Yes, so although a Dane Fire does not currently exist, leaving them on this list, should they be a new Dane Fire Department, a proper Dane Fire Department be created by the time a new ordinance would be passed, they would be essentially grandfathered in under this ordinance.
So it just basically leaves a place card holder for a new station?
Yes,
Okay.
that's a good way of
Thank you.
putting that.
Yes, ma'am.
So it doesn't have to be their official name on here, in other words, because they could be called Lower Bear Wall or Fire Department.
Yes, so for intents and purposes, we would all know what Dayton Fire means, or the Dayton general area, yes.
And we could update the ordinance.
I think Lower Bear Waller sounds better. It's hard to say, though. All right.
Okay. Any further discussion? I'll call for the motion.
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you all.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a request that the Fire Chiefs Association at least have representation at that public hearing.
Yes, sir.
To give us their personal input.
Yes, sir. I'll have the county administrator reach out to them, have them here.
Yes, sir.
So the next up, been a hot topic of discussion tonight, the Sunday sale of beer and wine ordinance. So to give some background on it, yes, there was a public hearing held in November of last year to set this for a referendum vote for the 2025 general election ballot. Of course, that was before my time as county attorney. I was hired in July as full-time, and when I first found out about this was late August. And when that occurred, it was past the publishing date to get that on the ballot at that point. So at some point in the transition between attorneys, it was lost in that translation. And essentially what we have heard tonight, of course, the residents, at least the ones that are here and have spoke up, want to see this move forward as fast as possible. But if we look at the Virginia Code, specifically Section 15.2-1427, anytime an ordinance is repealed, it has to go through the same procedural requirements as an ordinance to be passed. So that, of course, would require a public hearing, which, yes, there was a public hearing held in November of last year. But that public hearing, it was decided to do the referendum. So from that point, that public hearing is attached to the referendum vote. And if we look at the case law from the Virginia Court of Appeals and the Virginia Supreme Court, that public hearing is no longer good to sustain a vote tonight, almost a year removed. So essentially at that point, in order for the county to be compliant with the state code, we have to start the process over again, unfortunately. Because under that same code section I cited a minute ago, 15.2-1427, any actions that do not follow the proper procedural requirements under the Virginia Code are null and void. So they would not have any weight whatsoever. So as a result, I would recommend that the board set a motion for, you have the option to do either a public hearing or do the referendum and us get it on the ballot for the 2026 general election. No. But the other option would be to, of course, set the public hearing for next month and have the vote then to repeal or not repeal the Sunday sale of beer and wine ordinance.
I'll make a motion, we have the public hearing next month.
6 o'clock.
Second.
Third.
Okay, we have a motion, second and third.
I do have a quick question for,
Go ahead.
I guess, Mr. Lester. In regards to, okay, so the other attorney had it and he was doing the paperwork. Were we billed for that? And if we were, we need that back because he clearly didn't follow through.
If we didn't do the paperwork, he apparently didn't get.
Well, I understand he didn't do the paperwork, but anytime that you have an attorney and you get the billing, you've got project whatever, and then you've got notes as to
Right.
what you've done,
He
the
does.
amount of time
And
you've
they do.
spent and everything. So do we has that happened?
I tell you what, we'll
And-
go back and look at the review since the
Okay.
changeover, and it is line item by line item, as all attorneys know. So that is a good question. When Tyler and I first started our radar, we were actually working on the precincts, on the ordinances for the change of the precincts for the Cleveland, et cetera. And we was looking at the publication because we was running fast and hard on it to get it up and changed whether it was approved or not. When we started looking at the ballot, we noticed the referendum was not included in it, so we contacted the electoral board, which then told us, didn't get out.
Yeah, if you don't care, check on that.
I will do that, and I'll report that back to the
that.
board,
Thank
absolutely.
Okay, we have a motion.
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay.
So the next item I have, and this was one that was an addition at the beginning of the meeting, is an economic development project with the Givens School. So, of course, that's still being in the works, the way, business works.
Yeah, I
When-
might mention that, there's a potential economic development project for the given school. And I think it's still in the negotiations phase right now, but I think what we need to do, and I'll make a motion to this effect, that we authorize the county attorney and the county administrator to negotiate that and bring it back to the board, whatever your negotiations yield on that, so we can make a decision on it.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll give you a second.
All right, we got a second. Thank you. Any discussion?
So this is just to negotiate a potential economic development and then
Bring terms back to us.
and then bring back to the board. This isn't
For
anything final.
consideration, yeah.
It's part of the performance agreement, Mr. Hensley.
Yes, so this would be essentially for Mr. Lester and I to negotiate with that potential client, so to say.
And then they'll come in here like what New Leaf did.
They can if that's...
Something similar.
Yes, if that's the direction the board would like. Essentially, this would authorize Mr. Lester and I to work on the performance agreement, come to terms, and then bring that performance agreement back to the board for the board's full approval.
Because what y'all got to remember this, these are the schools, this is not like an IDA project, this is still y'all's property. So any potential business that goes in any of the schools or the sales, which y'all have done, has to come back through the BOS, the Board of Supervisors, the governing board.
I'll call the vote.
Okay.
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you all.
And then the next I have is the data centers, machinery, and tools tax implementation. This, of course, was also a late addition that was amended at the beginning of tonight's meeting. So it was recently brought to my attention, the county has not set a machinery and tools tax for data center purposes. And that is distinguishable from a normal machinery and tools tax for any other entity. It's its own separate authorized ability for the Board of Supervisors by the General Assembly. So to give some background around the Lonesome Pine Regional Industrial Facilities Authority, they've set one, and that comprises of Lee, Scott, Wise, and Dickinson County, and the city of Norton. So they've already set one. It seems to be all the counties around us have set one other than Russell County. So essentially at the moment, it's like there is a closed sign, we're closed for business for data centers. But of course, if we look at Northern Virginia, it's a hotbed for data centers. Virginia's the data center hub for the entire world at the moment. So I think it certainly looks to be something that could expand towards the southwest direction into Russell County. So I would ask for of course, with it being a tax rate, it'd have to have a public hearing. So I would ask the board to set a public hearing for next month as well, to consider setting a tax rate for machinery and tools for data center purposes.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you all.
And Mr. Chairman, before we move on from the county attorney reports, I have one other update, so to
Yes,
say.
sir.
So I believe it would have been the August board meeting, or maybe July. The county administrator and myself were authorized by the board to execute the necessary documents to have the county participate in the Purdue Sackler family settlement for the opioid epidemic. Just wanted to give the board an update on that. Mr. Lester and I executed those documents. Russell County is now a full participant in that settlement.
Thank you, sir.
And that would conclude my reports, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay, I'll give it to the county administrator.
Thank you, Chairman. First on the county administrator reports is the Russell County Road Reporting System. I know that the board members have had an opportunity to look into the reports that is applicable to their area. Take a look at it. If you have any concerns with them, let me know.
I do.
Something I can add to that real quick. I talked to Jeff Buchanan Friday before last, and they are way behind on maintenance due to the storms and floods and hurricanes and everything that's went on. And he wanted me to let the public know they do see these when they come in. And don't feel like you're being ignored. It's just there's only so many men working and so much that they can do in a day. So they are trying to address these needs by citizens.
Thank you, Andrew.
Mr. Chair, I'm going to say
Go
something concerning my district. Also, we've had this, on the road repair request was a tree. And I'm not sure that that's not on, I'm not saying it's not on VDOT. I don't know. It could be on a private land and ain't. So what do we need to do about that? How do we handle that one? Because I really don't think the tree across Lick Creek is on VDOT property.
Are you talking about the one at 381 Bunchtown Road? Yes. Yeah. That's the one it's across the creek. I thought that one, was that not removed? One of them removed during the debris?
One was, but there's one that apparently seems like it's going to fall, and these.
Oh, this is the one that's leaning. It
Yes,
is not on, we have looked at that one. I can confer on that one. It is not on VDOT right away.
Okay.
It is on the property.
The county doesn't own down in there at that area.
No, ma'am.
And then is that the Nature Conservancy property, or is that the landowner on the hill that, so how do we notify these folks?
At the top of the slope where that tree is at, that that is, I'm gonna say, I ain't gonna say.
I understand. So would you or your staff please notify somebody about this leaning
ma'am.
tree?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
That's right. Yes, ma'am. Next is the county, the VDOT monthly road report systems. VDOT had two board action requests. Of course, both of them are on the agenda that you will see in my request. First one, just a brief, is approval of drainage easement donation for a culvert replacement and additional culvert installation on Route 677, which is Century Farm Road. The project will replace one pipe and add 2 new pipes, and the additional pipes will elevate the road washouts, alleviate the road washouts, and impacts the property below the road. This project is funded by the county coal severance funds that Mr. Hensley had approved. The easement of the plat and the draft, the deed of donation is attached. The second one is the approval of resolution to abandon Route 784, which is 0.04 miles in length. The board passed the notice of intent to abandon resolution on May the 5th. The draft resolution and the map proposed of the abandonment is attached. So I will be going into those for approval in my request. Please look over your routes in the overlays that we're doing in each area. As you can see here, there's quite a few of them. As you can see, the contractors is going as quick as possible. We did have a little bit of rain season, so there was a little bit of interruption. So take a look at those. Next on the county administrator reports is, of course, the county and the PSA projects. A couple of them here that I want to highlight that we have completed the court services division that finishes up the old courthouse. We're getting ready to do the final walkthrough here next week. The next one is, of course, y'all see the silt fence and the excavator setting at the Russell County Animal Shelter project that we started across from Powell's. We're right now doing site developments and the permitting, and the rest is in progress. Also, I distributed the update on the fire department and community center generators, and then since that report, I'll be giving you a new one because they're moving along pretty quickly on these. But those are the most two important ones. So, and of course, the PSA is number 1 on the Belfast Phase 3, the generators. The design work has been completed on those. Of course, the Tiller Trailer Park Court, the Milton's Bottom Sewer Line, Straight Hollow, the water source and treatment study, the Dank to St. Paul sewer line, the Nash Ford Clinch Mountain, and of course the Dank flooding of July the 18th is still being worked on. If y'all have any questions on those, just let me know. So, first on the county administrator request is the VDOT drainage easement of Route 667, Century Farm Road, as you see here. This is the drainage easement that is proposed. This is the permanent. Here's the drainage easement. I will need a motion for a vote for these easements.
Make a motion to approve the easements.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
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 Thank you, Chair. Next is the VDOT resolution to abandon 784.
I thought we had already abandoned that, but I'll make a motion again.
We did. This is the resolution for approval. It was a letter of intent that we did before.
All right, second.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
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 Then next is, of course, is from the Russell County School Board. The Russell County School Board is, I'm writing behalf of the Russell County School Board. This is from Dr. Hooker to formally request a return of the proceeds from the recent sale of the property in the Castlewood that was formerly owned by the school division. They're asking for these funds to be transferred back to the school. I'll need a motion on that.
How much money are we talking about here? That's the house, right?
Yes.
I talked to her about it, and she told me that what they had done, their board had voted to give free admission to all students in the county to the games, because some kids apparently can't, they don't have the funds or something like that to go to a game, and that, will help them to be able to go to games. So she said that money would actually go for that, to help pay for all kids to get in to the games.
How much money was it?
Approximately 102,000.
How much money did they give back at the end of the year from last year's budget?
I don't want to, I don't want to shoot off the top of my head. I think it was 47,000, something like that. I can get that. That was an estimate, so
Yeah.
I can send it to the board.
I propose that we hold on to the money until we know if they actually are going to need that or not.
Okay?
Is that a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion that they have to request it at the time that they need it. Because according to last, I don't know, as long as I can remember, every year they give us multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars back.
Okay, we have a motion.
I'll give you a second.
We got a second. Any further discussion?
Well, yes, I do. So concerning this, would this hold up us trying to get our animal shelter done? So if we just do a cut and dried motion to get it done, we could move forward with the plans for the animal shelter, could we not?
Is there anything holding us up on the animal shelter? Is there anything holding us up financially
Well, right
for the
now,
animal shelter?
On the animal shelter right now, the only motion that I have from the board is site development and site preparation. So next phase is going to be the building, and utility.
So anything sitting around here is for sale so we can build an animal shelter. If y'all want to make
He wants
offers.
to put it simple.
No, seriously, I've been concerned about this, and I've went back through the budget, and we have to build an animal shelter. Everybody knows we have to build an animal shelter. We've been told multiple times. I've been told for 2 years since I've been here, we need to build an animal shelter. We got to figure out how to pay for that, and I think we're on our way, but this money could potentially help get that problem solved. And not that they're don't have a good idea to use it for, but there's lots of uses in Russell County for $100,000. Lots.
Yeah, and we're facing a major legal issue if we don't get this animal shelter built. So that and the fines alone would be way worse than if we. So I'll amend it that we just don't give it back to them.
I'll amend my second.
Yeah, I would like to earmark that money for the animal
Okay,
shelter.
I'll amend mine for what he said.
Okay, if you don't care, just to
All right,
restate.
All right, now you're
Are you
sounding
with
like
us, Rhonda?
you're sounding like me, Peanut. Restate the motion. All right, the motion is that we allocate that 102,000, correct?
Restrict it to the Russell County.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say.
Yep.
102,000, correct?
Yeah. Oh, well, just leave it. I haven't got it right straight to the dollar.
Okay.
All the funds from the sale.
The funds from the sale of the house in Castlewood, we appreciate the school donating that money to our animal shelter. We're going to restrict those funds for the animal shelter.
Yes.
Second.
Okay, and that's Tara seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
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 Okay.
Okay, now, talking about the animal shelter.
Yes.
Next on the county administrator request is another good program. This is being negotiated by the county veterinarian that watches over our animal shelter. This is the Lincoln Memorial Shelter Medicine Services Agreement. This is with the College of Veterinary Medicine. This is for interns to come and work at the animal shelter. as an agreement that has no cost to the shelter. Of course, Ms. Dye pointed it out to me when we done the copying into the thing, the $10 had a little line through it, you just couldn't see it. It is no cost to the animal shelter. It is good training. It's also good PR and in partnership with the LMU University. I need a motion.
Made.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, wait a minute.
Let's start again.
Start again.
I said aye.
Aye.
Yes.
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 Next on the county administrator reports is from the Russell County Commissioner of Revenue's office. This is a refund based off the Board of Equalization that is made on the Key Western property, account number 16528, in the amount of $2595.08. I need a motion for approval for a refund.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
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 Okay. Next on the county administrator reports was added the Cumberland Plateau Planning District Regional Hazardous Mitigation Plan Update Resolution. Yes, I did put it into your Dropbox. It was added to the agenda. It's 900 pages. This is, feel free to peruse it and look at it and any changes.
I need y'all to read that real quick.
Sounds like a Democrat budget bill.
It's 900 pages, but I need a motion to approve the resolution to participate in the update.
Motion to approve your resolution.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we got a motion and a second?
No, I didn't second.
Did somebody second it?
No, I was gonna say something.
Okay, good. Hang on a minute, we need a second first.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'll give you a second.
Okay, we got a second. Thank you, Ms. Dime. For discussion, go
This
ahead.
ain't one of those, we gotta pass it before we know what's in it kind of situations, is it, Lonzo?
This is an update. So, that being said, unless you read the 900 pages, I can't give you a summary.
I mean-
Here, it is a plan, just like the districting plan. It's an update that has to be done. One of the most important caveats is not what they got in the mitigation plan. We have to have it in plan if I go after FEMA or state or any kind of mitigation funds. This has to be in place.
And this was,
There's no direction in there that says Russell County has to do this or Russell County has to. It's
this was
suggestions.
created by who?
Cumberland Plateau Planning District, or that sits on the planning district.
It's for all the counties, right?
Yes, sir.
And so all the counties
It's all
have
the counties.
come up with this and are going, so, okay. All right,
If
I'm
I
good.
may, and I'm sorry, probably the entire for state Commonwealth of Virginia, there are 21 planning districts.
Do this.
They all have these.
I'll call the vote.
Yes.
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 And the last one on the county administrator request, of course, this was brought to me by Mr. Brady. And being a veteran, he pointed it out to me. This came from the National Association of Counties, and of course, this is a nationwide thing. During, this is for the Operational Green Light for Veterans 2025 proclamation. So what it is that from the
4th through the 11th of November. Yeah.
yeah, with this nation as Green Light for Veterans, Russell County hereby declares November the 4th through the 11th, 2025 as a time to salute and honor the service and the sacrifices of those transitioning from active service, and therefore be observed as Operation Green Light in Russell County, Virginia. Now, what this says, that Russell County encourages its citizens in patriotic tradition to recognize the importance of honoring all those who made immeasurable sacrifices to preserve freedom by displaying green lights in their windows of their place of business or residence from November the 4th through the 11th of 2025.
And Lonzo's going to get some green lights and shine them on the government.
The government center is going to be green from November, so do not call the sheriff's department. No, I'm just teasing.
I just thought that was a nice thing
It
to
is.
do.
It
for
is.
the
Thank you,
veterans.
Mr.
And
Brady,
it didn't
for bringing
cost-
that.
It won't cost a couple of light bulbs,
Yes,
so.
thank you, Mr. Brady, for bringing that.
Do we need to make a?
I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, we got a second, Ms. Dye, thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
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 Chairman, that concludes the county administrator reports and requests.
Okay, any board discussion or reminders? Does anybody have anything on their mind? Start with
Steve.
Andrew. Oh, I'll start
I don't
with
like
Nate.
it.
I'm gonna start with
I've
Nate.
been going first all
I'm
night.
Start
You
with
gonna put me
Nate.
dead last. I'm starting with you. All right. Steve, when I come pick up my green light bulb. No, I'm just kidding. Appreciate everybody coming and speaking tonight. We are listening to you, trying to do the right thing, get things done, trying to get this county on the right track and get moving. Economic development, making some changes. So appreciate your patience, and despite the speed bumps and road potholes that we run into every now and then, we're going to get there. I would like us to, at the next meeting, I'd like to have a resolution to recognize the day Charlie Kirk was assassinated every year. I don't know what the procedure is to lower a flag, but to have some sort of a recognition of the sacrifice that he made for freedom of speech. It's been a long time in our country since we had someone that gave their life doing what their constitutional right was in public like that. And for someone to have such a huge impact on so many Americans across both sides of the aisle, he could literally have a civil conversation with just about anybody, and that should be celebrated. That should be honored in a time that we are so divided and we have so much violence and anger and hatred. We all need to take a step back and look at the way we approach conversations and the way that we approach each other, because there's always room for civil debate, always.
Thank you, Mr. Kaiser. If it's okay, I'm gonna skip a little bit because Ms. Tara kind of injected to me a great ideal, so.
Well, I just told the chairman that his birthday is October 14th.
Yeah.
So we might want to incorporate that into it.
Okay.
So, but do you want me to go ahead and go with whatever?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I agree with Nate on that. There's always room for debate. Civil discourse is a wonderful thing. You take that away, you take humanity away. One thing I did want to ask about, last month we brought up tourism, and I didn't see that on this packet, and I really feel like we need to make some moves on that. I know there was something about last month with the towns. I'm not in favor of that because I feel like that leaves out a significant portion of our county that is not represented. Not everybody lives in a town. Not all the businesses are in towns. And definitely not all the tourism is in town. And I know that Angie and the Chamber of Commerce, she has emailed us several times and several of her members have. And I encourage you all to look at that if you haven't. Angie and I have spoken several times about it. She has a really well laid out plan. If we could at least look at that, whatever tweaks we need to make to it, but we need to move forward because with tourism, things are constantly happening and we're missing out on stuff. And we have somebody here willing to work and willing to do. So, and other than that, I really don't have anything.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask a question in regards to that?
Yes.
I know Angie submitted a lot of stuff, and there were some questions about how that would be structured for the county to be able to utilize that for grants and things like that. Have you looked at that, Tyler?
Is that maybe something we could
Because
get
I know
on
we
the
were
next
talking about
meeting?
that at 2 meetings ago, about how that would be
Yeah.
structured and if it would be a hindrance or if it would be okay.
Yeah, so I've looked at it to some degree. I think the hump we're looking at now, and I think Mr. Lester's probably more suited to fit this. He has a meeting sometime this month with, I guess, the regional tourism board. So
Got a meeting scheduled in October with VTC.
Yeah, Mr. Reed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So.
But I want to make sure that we're specifically looking at Angie's credentials and making sure that if we wanted to make a motion that we have that available to make sure everything's covered. Right.
And Dr.
Mhm.
because currently the county is the DMO, and the chamber can be the DMO, it's entity to entity, and I think it's one piece of paper that has to be filled out to transfer
Okay.
that. I'm totally okay with leaving grant money in the county's hands. We just need to move on this because there's not been a post made on Experience Russell since July 31st. Nothing's being done, and I don't want to see anything, any progress that has been made fall and have to back up and start all over.
Yeah, it's very stagnant right
So
now.
the question is, what do we need to do to move forward on something like that?
Yeah, so I believe it would also, procedurally speaking, also require the public hearing and the vote on it because it would be a moving of county funds, albeit indirectly. You know, the payroll or, you know, insurance, whatever may be there.
There would
So,
be no payroll.
no.
I wouldn't be a county employee.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that's a misunderstanding I might have had there, so have to look into that, you know, some more, just to really nail down the process.
So can we set up an ordinance for next month? That give time for the meeting you all are going to have with the regional, and then you can iron out all the details before that.
And then we can set the hearing date, I suppose.
Yeah, hearing the date
Well,
for next month.
Yeah, let me elaborate more on what Mr. Eat was said. We got a meeting with Virginia Tourism Corporation with the director. Looking at that, we got to look at, they're our biggest partner. They actually, you know, we follow their guidelines, et cetera. So what, they're going to make recommendations, or they're going to listen to what we've got to say and weigh the county's proposed on two different models to go. You can, you know, go with the chamber, or you can go with an employee, you know, whatever methodology y'all decide to do, they're going to have an input on it. And that is the next, you've got to have them as part of the decision. You know, it's because they are the grant funders. If they don't like what you're doing, it gets hard here. So it's part of the partnership. So next board meeting, after we have this meeting, we'll try to see if the availability of the VTC representative in this area can come and speak before the board to show y'all what, you know, how large of, you know, this program is.
Well, we just need to do something because, like she said, it has been just dormant, and I don't know. We really got to get that going.
So we can go ahead and set an ordinance though, and that way they can come and speak, and
Yeah, because we
can
would
iron
still
those
have to
things
do
out.
the hearing.
And if they say no, then all we got to do is vote it down, or not vote it on at all.
Or just not bring it up. But we would have to do the hearing. I mean, obviously.
The hearing needs to happen regardless,
Right.
evidently. So rather than putting it back another month, we're getting ready to come into Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we're going to pass by all of that if we don't get some stuff done. We've already missed the fall leaf change.
Caleb right now and temporarily took on the duties the IT staff has as far as updating the Experience Russell. Is the last one we've done since July? Is that correct? Caleb?
No, sir. You have had me update the Experience Russell website. The Facebook page, no. I have not updated the Facebook page, but I'm the one that is currently running the Experience Russell website along with the Artie Lee campgrounds, all that stuff also. So those are currently still active, and I get all notifications for those.
Yeah, I think she's more or less concerned about the socials, right? Because that is the marketing, right? The marketing issue with tourism is a big one. You know, just like Lou brought in this great magazine here earlier, marketing is a big thing. Like that's with tourism, that's all there is.
Yeah, we got Main Street Beats and Eats coming up on October 18th, so we're gonna miss that too. Tyler, so is a ordinance required for this?
I don't know that necessarily ordinance is the label. Resolution, probably.
The reason I ask is if we have a ordinance, then we're gonna have to have a hearing.
Yeah, resolution.
So if we don't need an ordinance, then we don't need to worry about a hearing, but we do need to iron out the details. I would like to have this ready for a vote at next meeting.
Okay.
Okay. But I don't need to make a motion for an ordinance public hearing, right?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
No, sir.
All right.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. No, that's why we're here. That's why we're here. Okay, Ms. Dye?
No, I'm
Okay,
good, thank
Mr.
you.
Brady? Nope. Ms. Wallace?
Thank you, no, I'm good, thank
Okay.
you.
Andrew?
VDOT is getting ready to start on some of their coal severance projects that we voted on over, what, Lonzo, the past year? Hopefully that's gonna get started mid-October. See some asphalt on 71 and some other stuff going on, so, keep your fingers crossed that VDOT gets that done for us. She said Cleveland's getting ready to have a fall festival on October 25th from 4 to 8.
Okay.
So everybody's invited out to that.
Also-
We need to put that on the page.
Also, Andrew, the TLC's got their pig roast on the 18th.
On the 18th, the Learning Center over at Temple Hill is going to have a pig roast. Everybody's invited. Come eat good, listen to some music. Bring your kids, let them run wild. That's what mine do. Anybody else? I done forgot what all I was going to say now. I mean, I'll just keep letting everybody know what's going on
They're
here.
using your time, Mr. Ensign.
I feel like I'm doing the news or something. Well, I'm going to make a motion to adjourn if that suits everybody.
We got a
Got a
second.
second.
Well, thank you, Andrew. I appreciate it. I didn't get a chance to say anything.
Well,
You'll be all right.
I don't know what I was going to say.
I do want to thank everybody and everybody for coming. We're moving forward in the right direction. Thank you all.
Absolutely.